Okay, welcome back, guys. This video is gonna be about My Hero Academia, which, if you know me, you know is like critical to my history. I'm mostly just gonna go through the different plot arcs and kind of talk about them and my opinions on them, and then I'll do another chunk at the end of the video, just talking about generally what I think is cool in the show, and then kind of delving into some of the fandom stuff. But for now, I'm gonna do a quick introduction to like some of the really main characters so that you even know what I'm talking about. So like the like main character is like obviously Midoriya. Um, he like starts off quirkless and then he gets one, which I will explain in a minute. The next like second most main character is Bakugo, and his quirk is explosions, and quirks are like superpowers basically. I guess I didn't explain that. Um, the other people I will introduce as they come up, but those two are important because they are the only ones we see in the very beginning of the show for the first like 3 episodes. The show starts, and we find out that Midoriya is quirkless, and that him and Bakugo used to be childhood friends, and now Bakugo like hates him because he's like, you're like a weakling loser. Like I don't want to hang out with you. That does not stop Midoriya from chasing after him and trying to still be his friend because he does not get the hint. Um, and okay, like yes, in these early episodes, like Bakugo does tell Midori to jump off the roof of a building. You know, we all make mistakes sometimes. Um, but then like after he tells him to kill himself, they leave their school, their middle school, and this like sludge villain attacks Bakugo and like grabs him, and it's like, ooh, that's low key embarrassing, and like the first 5% of Bakugo's ego death where he like crashes out. But so All Might, who is like a pro hero, which means it's his job to be a hero, and he's like the number one, like he's the best at it. He sees this and he's like, "Damn, this little Midoriya kid like ran into danger to go help his friend, and he knows he's quirkless, and he knows that like he wasn't about to do shit against that villain." And All Might's like, like I'm sensing some true hero potential here. So after the whole incident, All Might saves Bakugo and Midoriya. He gets the whole thing under wraps, whatever. And then he's like, Midoriya, I have an offer for you. My power is actually borrowed and it's passed down from person to person. And I think you have, the spirit of a true hero. So I'm going to pass it down to you. Oh, Midoriya is gagged. But obviously he's like, oh my God, All Might, like, I'm your number one fan ever. Like, like, yes. Um, so then All Might is like, if you take this quirk as you are right now, like you're gonna explode. Like you can't handle it. Like you're not strong enough. So we need to do some intense training. So they do, and then after like a year of intense training, All Might is like, okay, you need to eat a piece of my hair, and then it will pass on to you. Whatever the fuck that means. But obviously Midoriya does it, so he now has this quirk. And so now that he has this power, I mean, he's like really bad at controlling it, obviously, still, because it's like new. He decides, okay, I'm gonna apply to this hero high school called UA. And Bakugo obviously was already about to go there, like no question. So Bakugo's mad as fuck now because he's like, when the fuck did you like get this quirk and you didn't tell me? Like, why were you lying to me? Like, you're embarrassing me. Like this is so embarrassing for me that you didn't tell me. Like, I'm mad as fuck at you for lying to me and making me seem weak. Okay, like I don't have time to get into like all of Bakugo's like complexities, like I don't all of his fucking isms that he has, like whatever. But so then they go and do this. They have to do this entrance exam to get into the school, obviously, because you can't just like be a hero and be boof at it. So they have to get in. And so at the entrance exam, Midoriya meets Uraraka and Ida. Uraraka's quirk is that if she touches stuff, she can make it float, and then she'll put her fingers back together and it drops. So she has like a gravity manipulation type thing. Ida's quirk is that he has engines on his legs and he runs super fast. And so all four of them are at the same entrance exam. And, Midori is getting really worried because this exam has started and it has all these little robots and they have to fight them. And it's like the more robots you take down, the more points you get. And Midori is like, ooh, like, I don't know how to use my power yet, really. And like, I have no fucking points. Like, fuck my chunk is life. Um, but then there's this like super huge robot and it's like the master one. But they told them before the exam, like if you take that one down, you don't get any points. Like it's not worth any points. Like run away from it. Like a part of being a hero is like knowing when you're like outmatched. But Midoriya notices that Uraka got stuck under like I don't know, just like some fallen piece of building or something for other people when they were fighting the robots, and the fucking giant one is about to literally crush her. And he's like, "Oh my god, like no!" And his like hero sense takes over, and so he uses his quirk and he jumps, breaks both his legs, punches the big monster in the face, breaks his other arm. He's down to one limb left. And now he's like, oh, fuck my fucking life, bro. Like, I'm barreling towards the ground at 50 trillion miles per hour and I'm about to just smash onto the floor. Uh-oh. But then luckily Uraka slaps him in the face and makes him float and then drops him from a much lighter distance. So I mean, like, he broke all his fucking bones and shit, but he was okay otherwise. But obviously he was super sad because he was like, all right, like, I guess I did the right thing, but I still have zero, like, combat points. Like, I still have 0 points. Like, fuck, I'm not getting into the school. So then later he gets his letter back saying if he got accepted or not. And in it, it's All Might talking because All Might is like, whatever, always fucking involved, of course. Um, and he's like, and we told you guys not to go after the big monster, but you didn't seriously think that there wouldn't be, you know, points for rescue points. So then obviously Midoriya is okay and he gets hella fucking rescue points for taking out the big monster and saving Uraraka. That's GOAT. And so then they all get in. Midoriya, Bakugo, Ida, and Uraraka all get in. They all have enough points either through rescue or combat. But of course, Bakugo literally is like first. And if you pay enough attention in the episode, you'll see that the name below him in second is in fact Hiroshima. Ooh, keep that for later. But so then after that, now they're all at UA. And of course, because Bakugo is the unluckiest motherfucker on earth, Midoriya is in his class. And I'll say there's 2 hero classes per like grade. So it's 1A and 1B. And I'm pretty sure that like it's a common misconception, but there's not like a difference in what class you're in. Like A isn't better than B. And I think people talk about that a lot and they're like, oh, how is blah 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 in A and not B? And how is blah blah in B not A? Like it's because it's not about which class is stronger. Like they're just 2 classes of the same course. Like it's like having chemistry first period versus like seventh. Like it's still the same class. Have to get that out of the way because I know some people misconstrue it. But anyway, so now they're in this class and their first exercise is this like training exercise where you meet their teacher, Eraserhead. And Eraserhead is literally my goat as fuck. Like, I'll get into my feelings on him more probably later in the video when I talk about like whatever else I want to talk about. But like, this is my fucking bro, okay? Like, this is my teacher inspo. This is best teacher of all time. Just awesome. Oh, by the way, when I have them here with a T, it means they're teachers. Everybody else on this list, which I'll get to as I get there, are just regular pro heroes. But Eraserhead also, his name is like Aizawa, so I'm definitely about to be switching between both names. So keep up. But he makes them do this little test where he's like, I'm gonna have you throw this baseball, and then like, you know, I'll have a thing that measures the distance, how far you threw it. And he's like, you can use your quirks if you want, or he like encourages them to. But some of them obviously like, like what the fuck can Ida really do with his engine legs for throwing a baseball? So like a lot of the students like they do the test. Obviously, like Uraka like kicks it out of the park, but she just has that shit float all the way until outer space infinity. Gag it. Um, so obviously the students bring up like, bro, this isn't fair. Like my quirk isn't good for this. Like Bakugo's is way better than mine. Like for explode it and propel it. Like what the fuck was I supposed to do? Like this isn't a fair test. And Eraserhead goes like, yeah, no. Like he was like, yeah, like shit's not fair. Get over it. Oh, but like he's right though, because then he explains like, okay, like Eraserhead's quirk, like he erases other people's quirks, and that's his whole thing is erasure. And like, yeah, it's not fair because then like, so say he erases your quirk, now you're just on equal footing. But it's not that anyone has a distinct advantage now if no one has the quirks. So he's trying to get that point across to them where it's like, you got to pick and choose your battles, and you gotta like know where your quirk is most suited. So then after that, they do like a class training exercise. So now it's like they're in groups. And the whole thing is kind of like a role play thing where it's like 2 of them are playing the villains and 2 are playing like the heroes. And the goal of the villains is to like guard this bomb, and then the heroes have to try to go touch the bomb, so it would be like equivalent of like taking the bomb out of whatever. And so obviously, I don't know if like they don't really explain if they did this on purpose or not. But the team up is Uraraka and Midoriya on Team Hero, and Ida and Bakugo on Team Villain. And so when this starts, Ida is like begging Bakugo, like, bro, we need a plan, we need a plan, we need a plan. Like, we need a fucking plan. And Bakugo's like, my plan is beat the shit out of Midoriya. Okay, yeah. So obviously Midoriya and Uraraka are like, we're gonna actually try to make a plan. And Midoriya, like, he's like super nerdy. So he has like really good battle sense, and he like all right, like he takes these notes on people, which like, or if I was real life in the situation, I'd be like, stop fucking taking notes on me. But it is like cool to see how that translates to him when he's fighting, because it happens a lot where it's like he's takes these things in and then he like brings them back up later. Um, and so their plan, Midoriya is like, bro, like if we both stay here and fight Bakugo, like we're both fucked and we're definitely losing. Like you need to go to where Ida's guarding the bomb, like go find the bomb. And so that leaves Midoriya and Bakugo alone. Oh, okay. So Midoriya, like he almost has the upper hand for half a second, because he like has studied Bakugo, like he's known him forever, and he knows that Bakugo is gonna start this fight with like a punch to the face. So he's able to block it and then like swing Bakugo over onto the ground like boom. Oh, okay. Keep in mind that the class is watching this. They have no audio, but they're watching, and like everybody gagged. Um, but then obviously Bakugo is like that just like took his ego death about another like 20 percentile up. Now he's at like 25% ego death. Like this is getting bad. So then he starts like literally fucking raging out, crash out on Midoriya. Like they're lucky there's no audio on this. So because All Might was doing this lesson, like bro is lucky he wasn't hearing this. Holy shit, bro. But so yeah, so then Bakugo starts like really like chasing Midori around, like trying to beat the shit out of him. Uraraka has found the bomb, but much to her dismay, Ida has taken anything in the room that would be floatable out, and he's moved it elsewhere. So she has nothing to make float, nothing she can really do to get to the bomb. And Ida's like, ah, ah, ah. Like he's playing the villain for real. Like he took that shit seriously. Um, so then Uraraka is like, all right, watch this awesome epic move. And she makes herself float. And for a second, it almost works. But then, Ida with his engine, like, takes the bomb away from her. So then it goes back over to Midori and Bakugo. And, like, bro, like, Bakugo lets off this, like, insane explosion. Because he has these, like, gauntlets on his arms. And he, like, stored up a bunch. So he did, like, a super big explosion. And, like, people were literally like, bro, you're gonna kill Midoriya. And he was like, not if he dodges. Bro, that's not real. Um, but that's bad. Like, bro. He does that. Midoriya somehow survives this massive explosion, which like literally ripped through the entire hallway of the building. And then he like stands up, like he's like, all right, like I'm low key burnt to a crisp, but I'm still alive. Then Bakugo hits him right in the face with an explosion. Oh, and then he does this move where he like hits him in the face, takes a step back, and then shoots his body over Midoriya's, and then uses like one explosion to propel himself back to Midoriya and hits him again with another explosion in the fucking back. Uh, but Midoriya's his solution to this is I'm gonna shoot off some of my power, and so he like just through the air, through the building, so that it rattles enough stuff around so that Uraraka has stuff to float. So then he lets off a big ass blast, but his aren't like explosions; they're like air, like. So he does that, shakes the whole fucking building. Uraraka manages to get a hold on the bomb from Ida, so their team does win. Ooh, like okay, this like takes Midori out of commission. Like he like has to go to recovery girl, like the doctor or nurse on campus, whatever. But like this like pushed Bakugo ego death to like 1,000,000%. Ooh, like this was bad. And then to make it worse, like he's already okay, he's at like 98%. Then the rest of their class, we get some clippets of them doing the, training, whatever. And so we get a clip of Todoroki, and his power is that he is like flames and ice. So he's like half and half. And he literally just makes the whole building go up in ice and then easily taps the bomb. And like the whole class is gagged. This like literally puts Bakugo at like 110% ego death. Like he's like, bro, like I'm not special. like, ugh, like he literally couldn't deal with it. So, at the end of the day, now they're all heading back home, and Bakugo's pissed. Like, he's like fucking grouchy as fuck, leaving the school. Why did Midoriya have the nerve to go up to him and be like, "I'm sorry, like it's a borrowed power. Like I just got it, okay? Like I wasn't hiding it from you." Okay, so now Bakugo's at about 150% ego death, and he's like, "I'm gonna destroy you, and I'm gonna be number one, and you don't stand a fucking chance." And then All Might walks up to make matters worse. So All Might pulls up, and he's like, "Young Bakugo, like, what are you so upset for?" And Bakugo literally tells All Might straight to his face, like, "I'm gonna take number one away from you. Like, I'm gonna be the number one hero. Like, get the fuck out of my way." Uh, to your teacher and number one hero, you said that? Oh, oh, okay, okay. Ooh, that's like pretty crazy. Like, whoa, the nerve of that is crazy. But I don't know. Class has to go on. Then they elect the class president. They elect Ida, obviously, because he's like super punctual and smart and like ready. Like he's like, yes, like I'm in it. So then now they're like, all right, Eraserhead is like, we're gonna go do some super special training, and we're gonna go to this other little building called the USJ. From my interpretation, it seems like the USJ is on UA campus, but like off to the side. Like it's almost like as if you had like a college campus and you had like a gym building on one end of campus and then your classes were on the other. That's my interpretation of it, at least. So Eraserhead pulls up to this little training camp, and it's just like a bunch of different areas. So it's like a water terrain, like a building terrain, and like raining terrain, fire terrain, da 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 da. And so they're meant to, do this training. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Eraserhead's there. There's another teacher of 13 there, but she's not really in the show. But she like has a black hole and she like sucks stuff up. Like, whatever. So they pull up to this training, la di da. They're talking. Um, why the fuck some villains pull up in the USJ? Oh, brother, on their like literally like second week of class, cannot catch a break. Um, so the two, okay, kind of like the three villains that pull up here are, for one, Kurogiri, who has like a warping thing where he makes like portals and you can like go to and from. And his are really specific, like it's like down to the coordinate where he opens them. So he obviously portals himself and this motherfucker Shigaraki in there. Shigaraki's quirk is decay, so if he touches shit, it just fucking dies and like crinkles away. And then I didn't write Nomu down because I just forgot, and they're not really people. Like Nomu are these like engineered beasts, but they bring one of those too. And so, the Nomu, Shigaraki, and Kurogiri pull up, and everybody's like, nerd the fuck. And so Kurogiri, I don't understand, like, I'll put a photo up, obviously, of all these people as I talk about them, but his body is like not, like, it's just like all mist. Like, it's just not really a body. And then he has like one metal thing, which is like where he kind of actually is. And so, he teleports Shigaraki and the Nomu down to this like general area, and then he's up at the top with the students, and he's like, "We are the League of Villains, and we are here to destroy All Might." Because All Might was supposed to be on this little training exercise, but he did not go because since he gave his power to Midoriya, he's like weaker, and he can only kind of keep up his like All Might stance and like appearance for so long, and then he goes back to like skinny Might. Um, but then Kurogiri's whatever, fucking rattling off da 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 to the students. Bakugo and Kirishima, keep in mind Kirishima's quirk is hardening, so his whole body turns to like a rock-esque substance. They're like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, we're done with this. And they try to jump him. Oh, not the right move because that just made him mad as fuck, and now he's gonna teleport everybody all around the USJ off separate from their classmates. So they're just all in like groups of two or three. Yup, yup, yup. Not a good fucking move. Some of them escape his teleportation because they move out of the way, or they otherwise are just like protected behind a teacher, and he's not trying to see the teacher. 13. Um, so then a bunch of them get separated. A bunch of them are a couple of them are still by the entrance, and then Aizawa is down by Shigaraki and the fucking Nomu. And so Midoriya gets put in this like water area with Suyu, or Sue, because she tells everybody, "Call me Sue. You can call me Sue." Her quirk is that she is like a frog, so she has like a super long tongue that she can use to like as like kind of like a rope or like grab stuff, whatever. Her feet, like she can climb on stuff. That's like her main thing. She has other little things that I'll bring up if needed, but that's like her big thing. So it's her and Midoriya and this motherfucker Mineta, which I'm not even getting into Mineta, bro. That's not even fucking worth it. But he has these fucking literally like fucking balls on his head, and they like stick to anything but him. So Midoriya, like they get put in the water. Suyu saves all of them, and they get on this little boat. And Sue is like, bro, like, I think we gotta fight. Like, we gotta do this. Like, her and Midoriya are ready to go. Fucking Mineta is pissing his pants. So, like, how are you outcrying Midoriya, bro? Midoriya is like an infamous crybaby. Like, what? But whatever. So then they have a plan where they're gonna throw a bunch of Mineta's balls in the water towards all the villains down there, and then Midoriya. Okay, Deku is his other name, but I don't like that name. I'm gonna try to call him Midoriya only, but if I slip up, I slip up. He's like, all right, like I gotta harness my power for 1 second, and I'm gonna do like one finger flick of air into the water. So he does that, and then sends all of Mineta's sticky fucking balls. That sounds so fucking perverted and dumb. Um, since all of his fucking sticky balls are down there, then when he hits the water, it all goes spreading out. So all the villains are kind of flying with some of the balls get stuck to them, and then it all go back in the middle because like water like goes like. So then they all get stuck in a big conglomerate, and then Sue wraps everyone up with her tongue, and they jump to the other side of the water. So obviously, while they're doing that, other people are fighting in their sections. Again, Bakugo and Kirishima beating the fuck out of these villains. And Kirishima's like, damn, bro, like you're kind of being like normal and rational. And Bakugo's like, the fuck you mean? And he's like, oh, well, like it's pretty clear that like, like I suggested we go help our classmates, but you said we don't need to, which means you trust them. And then Bakugo's like, bro, fuck you, die. Like that's like basically what he says, bro. I'm not even fucking exaggerating. Um, but so basically, like everyone's off fighting their own shit. Todoroki is like taking it upon himself, and he's like, I gotta figure out what the fuck these villains want, because why were they speaking on All Might's name? Like, hashtag the fuck. But like he like takes his bitches out fucking no problem. Ice everywhere, like fucking anytime they try to attack him, ice. Trying to grab on him, ice. And he makes that shit cold as fuck. Like he's like low-key torturing the one villain. He's like, I'll unfreeze you if you tell me what the fuck you guys want with All Might. And the bro is like, I'm so cold. But so then, Todoroki finds out that their like whole goal is to kill All Might. Like that was the goal of them coming here. So then the people that didn't get split up and they're still near the entrance, um, is Uraraka and Ida and this guy Sero, whose quirk is that he has tape elbows, kind of like Spider-Man almost, but it goes from your elbow, not your wrist. Um, and so they come up with a plan, and they have the teacher 13 kind of suck up Kurogiri because he's again, like I said, like a misty being. And they realize like, okay, like if we have her doing that, and then we have Sero with the tape trying to grab the actual body, and then Uraraka can float the body, then bro can't teleport us. So they put their plan in action. Oh, I just hit my fucking mic. They put their plan in action, and then they're like, Ida, like fucking run for the door and go get the other fucking teachers. Like get them down here now. And Ida does it. Like he gets the fuck out of that building, and he's like, I'm gonna go be the hero and get the teachers. So as this is all going on, Eraserhead is off fighting like a big ass group of villains just like down by the fucking Shigaraki and the Nomu in this like general area. And okay, like Eraserhead obviously like is good at hand to hand like close combat, but like it's like he just evens the playing field. And if it's like a mutant quirk where like your body has like extra shit, or like you are something else that it's not like you're not doing an explosion, like he can't cancel that. Like if it's just part of your body. So he's having a bit of a rough time, and he's taking on like literally like 50 fucking people. And Shigaraki standing there like staring at him like creepy as fuck. So Midoriya and Asui and Mineta are like watching him, and they're like, okay, damn, like Eraser kind of taking him down. And Midoriya's like, no, but like, oh, like he's getting tired. And then fucking Shigaraki starts talking about like, first it was 50 seconds, then it was 35, now it's only 17. And all of a sudden he just fucking rushes Eraserhead, and he like grabs onto him. And Eraserhead, he does get his elbow decayed a little bit because he has to blink, and when he blinks, obviously he's not canceling Shigaraki's quirk anymore. But then he gets that shit right back on, like he's like lock it back in, and then he's like, whatever, like he pushes Shigaraki out of the way, and he's like, that was the final boss, and then Shigaraki's like, oh, I'm not the final boss. And then Aizawa turns around and that big ass fucking Nomu is right there. Oh, this was bad. Oh, this was bad, bro. So the big ass fucking Nomu, like, it does get him. it does get it does get Eraserhead. And like when I say it gets him, I mean it literally beats the fuck out of him and breaks every single bone in his body basically. And it's like slamming him against the fucking floor, like da 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 da. And like obviously like Midoriya and Sue and Mineta are just fucking watching this go down. Like they're just watching their teacher get his fucking shit rocked. That's so scary. But as they're watching, fucking Shigaraki pulls up on them out of fucking nowhere. He's like, oh, like I'm gonna get you students too. Like if I can't get All Might, like we need to take down all heroes. Like da 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 da. And they're sitting there like, Durr. And he like pulls up, and he's probably like he has his like hand like with the decay. They just saw how it worked on, Eraserhead's elbow, and he like fucking puts it on Asui's face, and it's like, ooh, like oh my god, like he's literally about to fucking decay her from existence. And then like he touches her face and nothing happens, and it pans out and Eraserhead is like literally about to fucking break his neck, like lifting his head up to erase Shigaraki's quirk. And Shigaraki just says some fucking like, oh, you're so cool, Eraserhead. Um and then whatever, Midoriya like pushes Shigaraki out of the way, which like why you would engage in hand-to-hand combat with somebody whose quirk is decay, I do not know. But in the midst of all that, he like throws a punch. And he's like, I'm gonna use my legit power. Like I'm gonna use this fucking All Might, one for all power. Like yeah, yeah, yeah. So he throws this punch, and he's like, damn, like I didn't break my fucking bones. Like holy shit, like I just took that fucker out. The dust settles. Ooh, why he punched the Nomu? Boom. Not good, not good, not good, not good. But right, in the nick of time, All Might pulls up. Hey, hey, baddie fucking All Might, bro. And All Might, like, okay, the Nomu gives him a run for his money, but he does take that bitch down. Like, he fucking supersonic fucking Dakota smashes or whatever the fuck. Like, he smashes that bitch outside the whole fucking arena. So now, and then after that, the other teachers start to pull up. So President Mike pulls up. His quirk is like voice, so he like screams, and it's like super amp. So he screams. He gets the attention of Kurogiri and Shigaraki, and Kurogiri is like, "It's over!" Like he's so fucking dramatic, bro. And the voice actor, like, I don't know who the voice actor is in the dub, but like, I'm obsessed, bro. The delivery of "It's over!" Like, sorry, I'm fucking quoting that all the time. Um, but so then the other teachers pull up, President Mike like stuns the fuck out of him. And then this other motherfucker Snipe, which we like never see again, but his quirk is just like gun. Like he just like shoots shit, like super accurate. And like honestly, he should have just taken Shigaraki out right here. Let's be honest. But he does get him, he shoots him through both knees and one elbow, and then Kurogiri warps him out and everybody's gone. And then that's how the first season ends. Um so then it's kind of on like a dude note, like it's like the teachers got beat the fuck up, like all these students just got thrown in a battle on their like fucking third week of school, like this is so serious, like it really just upped the stakes, like holy, this is a whole new level. I really like season one. I think it's a good introduction. I think it like it's just like nice, and I think it like focuses enough on each individual character in the class that will become relevant later. Like if like these are all the relevant students, there's more, and I'll mention them when need be. But like you'll see, like everybody I just mentioned basically on that list, but Tokoyami because he wasn't quite relevant in season one. But this is like definitely an interesting season. I love the USJ attack. Because we get to see Eraserhead be badass as fuck, and he has this capture weapon around his neck, and we get to see how it works. Even though it like defies physics, but I don't know, maybe because this show takes place in like the future, maybe they found a way to just make it do that. Who fucking knows? I don't really care. But that's season one. Okay, season two. Season two starts on a bit of a higher note. The first day they get back to class after this attack, and they're like, oh, like like who's gonna take over for Eraserhead? Like, bro just got the shit beat out of him. No way he's gonna teach us. Eraserhead pulls up to class, mummified, wrapped the fuck up in bandages. Oh, oh, that's so funny. Like, bro is dedicated to his teaching, bro. Yeah, 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 yeah. We'll get into this again later when I talk about how this is like best character ever written. Um, but yeah, he pulls up and he's like, "You guys are going to have to do this sports festival that the first years always do, and all the students can participate in the whole school. So there's like other like courses. So there's like the hero track, the support track, and like the business track. And so everyone will be in this like festival, this kind of like whatever sports festival, but really it's kind of for the hero students to like show what they're made of. And when they do the sports festival, it's important that you let yourself look good because they have to do these kind of like work study type things, internship type things with some pro heroes. And obviously like the better you do on the tournament, the better pro that will scout you. So he explains that all to them and he's like, yeah, 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 like this is the Sports Festival, like, let's go. So the Sports Festival starts and it has like three chunks. So the first chunk is a race, and then the second chunk is like a group battle, and then the third chunk is like a one on one. So in the race, Class 1A really pulls ahead like immediately. And let me also add that Eraserhead and Present Mike are the ones that are like narrating the sports festival. And by both of them narrating, I mean it's mostly Present Mike and Aizawa is like, "You're stupid. This is stupid." And then he'll like defend his students sometimes. Um so yeah, so do this race and Midoriya, okay, like if I was a pro hero watching this shit, I would be fucking terrified of Midoriya. From the fucking race even. So obviously Bakugo and Todoroki pull way the fuck ahead of the rest of the group. Even though like all of Class 1A is kind of pulling ahead of everybody else, like they're really pulling ahead because they've already been in battle. They already had that shit where they got attacked, so they're like no hesitation no more. Like boom. So Bakugo's like just floating through the air with his little explosions, like da 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 da. Todoroki just literally fucking freezing on through, like skating through. So, Midoriya, da 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 da, like he just kind of run in normal style. But he picks up this chunk of a robot because one of the obstacles was they had to take down the same robots from the exam. Da 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 da. But he takes down this chunk of metal. He's like, I can use it later, maybe, because he doesn't want to use his quirk because it's gonna destroy him. So then, they get to the end of the race. The very last obstacle in the race is this like big ass minefield. Bakugo is like, bitch, no problem. Like, I'm just gonna fucking fly over it. Todoroki is like, I'm just gonna fucking like ice past it. Like, or he at first he was walking because he was like, I don't want other people using my ice path. But then he was like, like, Bakugo's pulling ahead of me. Like, I need to go. So he just starts fucking running with his ice. And Midoriya, this motherfucker is crazy. He notices that, at the beginning of the minefield, there's a lot more mines left because people were way more careful. So he starts digging up a bunch of them and he makes like a big, pile of the explosives. And this motherfucker takes the piece of metal and he takes his body, sits on it, and he fucking jumps on his pile of mines. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. So this like big ass explosion happens. He gets like rocketed up towards the front towards Todoroki and Bakugo, and he's like, oh, like I didn't think about how I was gonna stick the landing. Like, uh-oh. He flips his body around, puts his feet, like braces his feet on Todoroki and Bakugo's back, and kicks off of them, and then just fucking does another explosion and starts running. Oh, okay, so this was like ego death for both Todoroki and Bakugo. Like this bitch just came up from behind y'all and literally stepped on you. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's evil. That's evil. Um, so then he wins the race and he's like, yay, I fucking won, like, yay, yay. So then they get to this second half where it's like a group battle and they do this cavalry battle where it's like you have like three people and they hold one person that sits on top. And each team, you determine your own team to make them up. But people have different headbands worth different points. And the downside to getting first is that Midoriya is worth 10 million points. Uh, Not good, not good, not good. Ain't nobody want to team with you when you're worth that much. But he does manage to convince Uraraka to team with him. He asks Ida, and Ida is like, "Bro, I'm sorry, but you're getting ahead of me, and I need to win too, and I need to be good too." Ooh, gag it. So Ida actually works with Todoroki. Um, Midoriya scouts out this one chick that was in the support course that made it into here, named Hatsume, and she's like, "I have all these little gadgets. We can use my gadgets." So he's like, "All right, I got Uraraka and this chick with the gadgets. I need one last person." So then he goes up and he gets Tokoyami. Tokoyami's quirk is Dark Shadow, which, how to explain this? I don't even really know. He just has this like shadow that comes off his body, and it's like sentient though, like it can talk and it has its own thoughts and opinions. But it can be like offensive or defensive. So it's kind of goated quirk of all time. So that's Team Midoriya. Is him, Uraraka, Gadget Girl, and Tokoyami. Team Todoroki is him, Ida, Kaminari, whose quirk is electricity, but he can't aim it. He just like electrifies everything. And then Yayorozu, whose quirk is creating stuff, but she has to know the chemistry of it, so she can make like little shields, little whatever daggers, whatever she needs. And then Bakugo's team. Oh, everybody was like begging him to be on a team because he got third place, so he had a lot of points, but it wasn't like a scary amount like Midoriya. And everyone starts fucking crowding around him, and they're like, "Be my partner, please be on my team, please be on my team. Like, we need to be on this team." Da 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 da. And he's like, what are your names? You're such an asshole. You're such a fucking asshole. Um. Anyway, then Kirishima goes up to him, and he offers like a deal that Bakugo could never refuse. First of all, he goes up there, and he's like, "Bro, you need us. Like, you want to be doing. I'm gonna phrase this so bad, and we need to just deal with it." He's like, "You want to be the rider, so you want to be on top. You need a like steady front horse. That's me, cause I'm immune to your explosions, cause my quirk is hardening. Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then Bakugo was like, "That's pretty good. That's pretty enticing." And then Kirishima hits him with that, and I'm going for the 10 million. And then they, it cuts to this like little cut screen of them, and they're doing these like wild grins at each other. As you can see, like we'll discuss my opinions on them later. So he's like, "All right, you stupid hair, you can be with me." And then he's like, "Who else? Who else? Who else?" So he picks up Sarah, which is the guy with the tape elbows. He's like, "I guess you can be on my team. You're useful." And then he gets this other chick, Ashido, whose quirk is like acid, and she can like spew it out of her hands and her feet. And he's like, "All right, this will be my squad." So now they get into this battle, and obviously, like everybody on Earth is like charging after Midoriya, but one of Hatsume's little gadgets is that they can fly. So Uraraka floats everything except for herself in the jetpack, and they float around and they avoid getting a confrontation. Um, so flying doesn't do much good when Bakugo jumps off his teammates and just fucking rockets through the air and goes to take this fucking headband. And Team Midoriya is fucking gagged. They're like, like, "Oh my god, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do?" Luckily, Tokoyami's got them, bro. He's like Dark Shadow, and then that shit fucking like boom, and it like totally avoids Bakugo's explosion. Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, let's go. Not good for Bakugo. His teammate, Sero, like ropes him back in with a tape. He's like, "Get back here." So then they're like, "Shit." So then Bakugo gets back down on his little team, and all of a sudden, his headband gets snatched off. Oh hell no! This little motherfucker from the other hero class, Class B, named Monoma. Oh, this is a legend in the making. This motherfucker starts taunting the fuck out of Bakugo, and he's like, "Oh, you class 1A, like you don't even plan ahead ever. Like my whole class had a whole plan to get us all through the race, and we're gonna take you guys down. Like we're gonna show that class B is just as good. Da 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 da." And then he starts going like in on Bakugo himself, and he's like, "Yeah, and you're like such a weakling. Like you were the one that got attacked by that sludge villain, weren't you? Like oh my god." And like it pans to fucking Bakugo, and he's like, "We're gonna kill all of those second rate extras, like change of plans." And like his whole team is like, like what the fuck? So then it cuts from them doing that. So now Bakugo has a new goal. He's no longer after the 10 million points. He's after Monoma. He's like, "I'm gonna get this motherfucker." Um, Todoroki still wants the fucking 10 million points. So his genius plan is because at the beginning of the race, when he froze people, a lot more people than expected were able to get out of it. So he's like, "All right, like let's go team." Yamirozu makes this big ass blanket so the other people on the team won't get shocked. And then they're like, "Go Kaminari!" And he lets out this like fucking giant electricity blast that like obviously like everybody's like stuns up. And then Todoroki freezes them all. So now they're all like super stuck in the ice, like no one's making it out. And then he surrounds Midoriya and he's like, "Now it's just our two teams. Like, rah, we're gonna take them down." And Midoriya is like in his plan, like in his head, like planning, da 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 da. They can't fly anymore because the gadget took some damage. And he's like, "Okay, I got a plan." And he's like, "All right, like, we need to watch out for Todoroki with the ice and whatever." And Tokoyami goes, "No, Kaminari is the one to watch out for because Dark Shadow does not do good with that much light." And then he explains that when it's too light out or when there's too much like heat on Dark Shadow, like he loses his ability. So if it's a normal amount of light, it's like bro is good and he's in control, and Dark Shadow is like yay. But then if there's too much light, Dark Shadow is like super weak and scared and can't do anything. And then if there's too much darkness, Dark Shadow is out of control. So he's like, "No, like Kaminari is the one to look out for." And they're doing this debate, da 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 da. All flip over to Team Todoroki. Ida is like, "Guys, I have a new move. Like, everybody hold on super tight." And Todoroki, when we get to them, like, "You need to snatch that fucking headband." And everybody's like, "Bro, like, what are you about to do?" Oh my god. Bro goes like supersonic and like fucking like boosh, like run, like, does this crazy ass fucking boosted run. And the team yanks off Midoriya's headband and everybody's like, "What the fuck was that?" And they're like, "How did you know how to do that?" And he's like, "I could do it, but only once. Like, my engines and my legs stall after, so we're gonna be a sitting duck. Like, we gotta time this right." So they get the time point headband. I know that's right. So then it flips back to Bakugo's team, and it's like they're taking on fucking Monoma, and he's like, "We're getting him now." So the team goes, they're chasing after Monoma, and Bakugo gets up to him, throws an explosion in his face. Oh, but Bakugo's explosion doesn't land, and instead Monoma throws an explosion at him. Oh, gag the fuck out of him. Gag the fuck out of him. That was bad. Then Bakugo's like, "Ah, like the fuck." So then he throws another explosion. But by this point, Monoma taps on Kirishima. So then he blocks the explosion because he takes Kirishima's quirk. His quirk is copying other people's. And this is like rage baiting the fuck out of Bakugo. He's getting like super fucking mad. So they're chasing him down. Bakugo jumps off his little trio again. He's like, "I'm getting it." So he jumps off, starts, boasting himself through the air, trying to catch up to Monoma's team. This other guy on his team is able to make these like solid air walls. Bakugo, they're like, "Good luck getting through that." Bakugo fucking one punches that shit. He's so angry. He's like, "Rah!" Then he grabs his headband back from Monoma, and the whole team is like, "Oh damn, like we gotta cut our losses, like let's go." So Sero, brings Bakugo back to their team, and they're like, "All right, we got our headband back." And Bakugo's like, "No, that motherfucker is gonna have 0 points. Like, I'm taking them all." So then he's like, "Brace for impact." So they have a new plan. They're gonna have Sero throw tape in front of him so he can like pull the team along. And then they're gonna have Ashido set down acid so the whole team can like slide way faster. So the team, works together. Works together. The first example of Bakugo working together with somebody. Hey! And the team, they pull up to Monoma and they fucking rip the rest of them off. And everybody's like, "Holy shit, like this kid Bakugo's like a fucking monster." And then Eraserhead over, the little when he's narrating, he's like, "They underestimated his overwhelming tenacity." Like, ooh, damn, bro. So Bakugo, like, he's accomplished his mission of taking down Class 1B's evil copy quirk user Monoma. He was like, "All right, now we're going back for the 10 million." So then it cuts back to the 10 million. And Midoriya is like, "Bro, like, we gotta go back." So then he charges back towards Todoroki's team because he's like, "Now we have no points." Like, dang, shit. Um, and he's like, "All right, guys, like, I have a plan. Like, I'm gonna use my power for half a second just to like cut through the air faster and yank it off his head, like, or yank it off because they have to be on your head or neck. So I'm gonna yank it off his neck." And then the whole team's like, "Got it." and because they're stalled. Todoroki's team is stalled because Ida's engines are out. So they're kind of like sitting ducks, like fuck my life, bro. So then Midoriya pulls up. He's going to take this from Todoroki, and keep in mind this entire show so far, Todoroki has not used his fire because I'll explain in about 1 minute why, but he just hasn't. And so then Midoriya goes to take this headband, and Todoroki realizes like, holy fuck, I turned my fire on, like, so he like freezes. So Todoroki's able, or not Todoroki, sorry, Midoriya is able to grab one of the headbands off of Todoroki, but he thinks it's his 10 million point headband, and then when they move away, he realizes like, shit, it's just some whatever, like 300 point or 200 point or whatever. Like, god damn it, like, that's not gonna be enough. And so like that was really fucking embarrassing. Like, he was like, fuck, like we just lost, like no. And then Bakugo starts fucking jumping over to go get in the battle of this, but then the timer rings and the game is over. So Bakugo already knows like I'm moving on because he took all those fucking points from Onuma. So Hiroki knows he's moving on because they saw the 10 million point headband. This other team randomly, shockingly, with this little blue haired guy or this purple haired guy is like all of a sudden in the running, and everybody's like, who the fuck is that? And then, Midoriya of fucking course is fucking crying, bro, crying, crying, crying. And he's talking to Uraraka and Hatsume, and he's like, guys, I'm so sorry. Like, I let the team down, da 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 da. And they're both like, Burr? Like, go talk to Tokoyami. Like, the fuck are you talking about? So he's like, oh, okay, Tokoyami, like, why are they directing me towards you? And Tokoyami's like, I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but when you were reaching for the million point headband, I had Dark Shadow grab the one around Todoroki's head. So they have enough points. They're moving on. So now we get to the next stage, which is these like one-on-one battles, like a bracket, where da 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 da. I'm not gonna go over all these battles because a lot of them are like okay, yeah, it's Todoroki versus Sero. Who the fuck do you think is winning? Someone with tape or someone with fucking crazy ass ice powers? Yeah. Um, but I'll highlight specific ones. So in the first round of battles, there's a really fucking good one between Uraraka and Bakugo. And this sucks for Uraraka. Like, did all that fucking work, and then the first match against Bakugo, like, fuck my chud life, like I'm losing. But she doesn't give up. She has a little plan. So her plan is that she's gonna charge at Bakugo and make him explode the ground a bunch, so she has enough rubble to make float. This is a plan she came up with all on her own, like baddie AF, like love her. That's basically just the moral of the story there. Um, so as she's doing this, Bakugo's like not paying attention because he's paying too much attention to like exploding her. And the audience is getting like pissed and they're booing Bakugo. Like they're like, "You're not a man. Like, why are you hitting her? Like, let the poor girl out of her misery." Da 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 da. And Eraserhead like goes on the mic and he's like, "Who fucking said that? Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, Bakugo is treating her equally because he knows she wants to be a hero." Da 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 da. And it was like, "Hey, okay, stick up for your students, bro. Stick up for your students." Anyway, then the whole class is being like he's being really aggressive, and Monoma like goes over to the little ledge. He's like, "You guys are so stupid. You stupid class 1A students. Like, I'm shocked. I'm not shocked that the audience didn't notice, but for hero students, you guys sure don't pay attention." And then everybody looks at the sky, and there's like 50 trillion fucking rock pieces up there, and all at once, Uraka lets them down and has them fall. Much to her dismay, Bakugo lets off an insane explosion and like stops all of them. And then at that point, she's so exhausted she like literally falls over. And he's like, "Damn, like I won, but that was like she low key kind of fully through it. Like that was kind of difficult. Like ooh." So then after his little battle with Uraka, he's going to Midoriya and he's like, "Did you give her that stupid plan?" Da 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 da. And Midoriya's like, yo, bro, if that battle was harder than you thought, that's on her. That's because she's a good hero. I didn't give her nothing. Oh, Bakugo Ego Death Part 2. So that's like the first battle that like really matters. The second battle that really matters is this fucking Todoroki and Midoriya battle. Oh my god. Okay, so now I'm introducing a new character. This is where it gets crazy. So Todoroki in his character design has a burn on half his face, and they don't really tell you what happened until now. And so we already know that his dad is Pro Hero Endeavor, who's the number 2 hero. And Endeavor's at this festival watching, and Todoroki's like, Tokima Endeavor's power is like the fire, and that's why he's not using it. And he's like, bro, I hate my dad. Like, I hate my dad, final boss. Like, da 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 da. And so then in his battle with Midoriya, like, like they're fighting, fighting, fighting. Only the ice, only the ice, only the ice. And Midoriya is like literally like, he'll like flick his finger to send the ice back and destroy it, but like he's literally like destroyed all of his fingers, like destroyed his whole arm, destroyed his fucking. He does one where it's like through his fucking um side of his cheek. Like, oh my god, like he's literally going fucking crazy. Like, if I'm a pro hero watching this kid, I'm like, oh, that's fucking scary. So then in this fucking battle, like Midori is really like, bro, like use your fire, like use your fire, like whatever, like reclaim it. And he utters this infamous fucking line. And if you were in the fandom for this show from about 2017 to 2020, you already know what I'm about to say. He pulls some, it's your quirk, not his. Oh, bro. Okay, like yeah, like it is gag, and it like when you first watch it, you're like, oh, like that was moving. And so then Todoroki like uses his fire. And like yeah, he takes down Midoriya. Like Midoriya, like there's no way you were winning with like a quirk you're not used to. It's decaying, it's like fucking up your body. And now bro is using ice and fire. But the teachers literally have to like sedate them and be like, stop the fight, stop the fight, stop the fight. Um, but so then Midoriya is out. So then we get down, these other people are in their battle. Actually, Kirishima and Bakugo get to battle, and Kirishima gets a hit in. Oh, that's a gag because no one else has been able to fucking put any hands on Bakugo, and Kirishima scratches him. Whoa, kind of gag. I mean, still Bakugo like whoops his ass, and it's like get the fuck out of here. So then now we're at the final battle, and third place and first place have already gone to Ida and Tokoyami, but Ida got called away. I will be addressing why he got called away in about 5 minutes. But so now it's his final battle with Bakugo and Todoroki, and like Bakugo's pissed because now Todoroki won't use his fire anymore. I don't, bro, like just was like no more fire, and Bakugo obviously is like, you think I'm fucking weak? Do you think I can't take it? Like, fucking come at me, like da 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 da. Like he's going fucking crazy, and eventually like he does this move called like howitzer, in which he literally makes his body a missile. Like he fucking spins around like a missile and then like Um, okay, so that obviously like takes Todoroki out of the running, but then Bakugo is still going fucking crazy. Like he's so pissed off that like he won this fucking tournament and he's still pissed because he didn't win how he wanted to win. He didn't win with like a total complete victory on an equal footing fight. So then, whatever, game's over. Oh, I didn't mention purple hair. So in the fight with Midoriya before he had his fight with Todoroki, he's up against this motherfucker Shinso, and he's like the purple hair guy. Um, and so he finds out from someone else in his class that was on Shinso's team in the cavalry battle, like this bro has like mind control, like don't talk to him. Like if you do, like he'll control you and whatever, whatever. And so Midoriya is like, all right, no talking to him. So they get on the mat and Shinso is again rage baiting the fuck out of Midoriya, and he's like, "And you guys have it so easy being heroes." Keep in mind, because obviously no one knows that Deku used to be quirkless. So like everything that Shinso's saying is like Midoriya does understand, but he can't say that. He's being like, "You have it so easy. Like, you have a hero's quirk. Like you would never know what it's like to be judged before anybody even knows you." Because obviously his quirk is mind control, so people are always like, "You should be a villain. You could be so villainous with that." And he's like, "I just want to be a hero." Da, da, da. And then at one point, fucking Midoriya says one thing back to him, and Shinso's like, "Gotcha." And he's like, "Turn around and walk out of bounds." Oh, this is not good. Midoriya just fucking do robotic ass walk away. Like, not good, not good, not good. And then all of a sudden, like he's like walking, and in the tunnel of like the entrance to the arena, the battlefield, he sees all these like fucking like ghosts with these eyes, and he's like, yo, the fuck? And the ghosts make him move his finger and use his power. So he wakes up from the mind control. Oh, we're adding a whole new layer of lore right now. So anyway, he breaks out of Shinso's mind control. He charges at him. He stops talking. And then, he's able, because Midori is just a stronger student than Shinso because he's in the hero course, and Shinso's obviously not. He's in the support course. Because, how the fuck was he going to do the entrance exam where you're fighting robots with mind control? Be for real. So he pushes Shinso out of bounds, and he's like, "Why do you like want to be a hero? Like, why do you care this much?" And then Shinso just like, you can't help what the heart like longs for. And Midoriya is like, bro, I get you because that was me when I was quirkless. But so then, Shinso's out, and Aizawa's like, I feel bad for this kid, da 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 da. And it's kind of giving this was a Racerhead situation when he was in high school, is what this little thing with Shinso's giving. But so anyway, whatever. Back to after. So then Bakugo wins. They're on the podium. Of course, All Might is giving them their medals. Tokugami gets his little third place. A. Todoroki gets second. We go to Bakugo with first place, and he is chained up and muzzled because he is so fucking angry and out of control. And he literally, like, everyone else is being like, "Thank you, All Might, like, thank you," and he's just like, but whatever. So now they're going on to class the next day. And so in class, Eraserhead talks about we need to figure out your guys' hero names because now a bunch of you guys are being scouted for the internships with the pro heroes. And they're like, bro, like, how did you get your hero name? Like, hey, like, who came up with Eraserhead? Like, how'd you come up with that? And he's like, I didn't. Oh, what does that mean? Lore flashback for Eraserhead. Everybody cheered, everybody cheered. So we find out that when Eraserhead was in high school, for one, he went to UA as well, and he went there with Present Mike, and Present Mike gave him his hero name. Guys, I'm so not normal about those two. Like, every new bit of lore we get about them, like, oh my god. So he doesn't tell them that though. He's just like, I didn't come up with that. And then the other kids come up with their hero names. Bakugo gets rejected because it's fucking crazy ass like explosion, die, murder, da 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 da. And they're like, that's not appropriate. Um, Midoriya is like, my hero name is gonna be Deku because I'm reclaiming the name I used to get called in a bullying fashion. Okay, so now Bakugo's back on his fucking crash out business because he's like, not you reclaiming the name I used to make fun of you. Like, fuck. But so then after, now they don't have their hero names. They've kind of got scouted by some people for internships, and they go to them. I'm only gonna talk about two because the other people's either you don't like see it come back up, or it just like adds to their like strength and building as like a hero. But like it's not really relevant who their trainer was. So Midoriya meets up with this dude, Gran Torino. Gran Torino's quirk is that he has like jets, so he can like jump and fly and like does these like super powered kicks and shit. Um, Todoroki is with his dad, which okay, nepotism final boss. And Bakugo is with this dude, Best Jeanist. Best Jeanist is the current number 3 pro hero, and or number 4 maybe. I think would be number 4 at this time. And Best Jeanist quirk is that he can manipulate any like threads. So like any clothes you have, boom, you're done. Like so with Midoriya, Gran Torino teaches him how to get his power under control and how to not always use it at like 100%. So he's like, when you use it at 100%, you're breaking your bones. So you have to use it at a less extreme level. And Midoriya like learns how to do this, and it's better, so he can kind of fight now. Bakugo, like Best Jeanist tries to like gentle parent Bakugo and be like, brother, you need to chill, and if you don't chill, no one's gonna like you. Like I'm number 4 because I have fans and I'm nice to people. Bakugo does not low key care, but he does like listen, but he's still like outwardly an asshole. But this little Bakugo Best Jeanist relationship will come back later, so I had to name up him now. Anyway, so they're out at their internships and they're over in this city. And the reason why Ida had to leave the sports festival was because his brother got attacked. Because his brother's also a pro hero. They all have the same engine quirk. His brother got attacked by this motherfucker called Stain. And Stain is literally the hero killer. Like, that's his moniker. Oh, that does not sound good. Ida's brother doesn't die, but he is paralyzed. And so now Ida's a little bit going crazy. And he's on his internship, and he purposely chooses one that he knows is in the same city that Stain is in. So, of course, Ida finds out where Stain is and is like, I'm gonna pull up and I'm gonna get revenge for my brother. Um, not good. So, Midoriya is also in this area, and so is Todoroki. And Midoriya notices that Ida has run off. And they already had an attack. There's like a previous attack by Stain, so they know he's in the area. And Midoriya is like, fuck, bro, it's going after Stain. So he chases after Ida. He gets there. Stain's quirk is that if he ingests someone's blood, they just like freeze. Like it's like no movement. That's not good. Ida's on the floor. Hashtag no movement. Ooh. Midoriya's like, all right, let me call some more backup. He sends this like fucking group text of his location. And Todoroki's like, I don't know why he sent me this text, but I'm in the area, so I guess I'm gonna go. And it's not like, I mean, he's with his dad, so he just like fucking leaves and it's like, I'll meet up with you later. And his dad is like, bro, the fuck, like get back here. And he's like, nah, bro, I gotta go. So now it's Midoriya, Todoroki, and Ida versus this motherfucker Stain. And Stain had already attacked this other pro hero. So, now there's Ida and the pro hero out of commission. Midoriya's there and Todoroki's there. And they're like, bro, like we gotta save Ida and this other bitch and like get take down Stain, da 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 da. They do their business, Midoriya figures out that like Stain's like the hold he has on how long you're frozen depends on your blood type, yada yada yada. Whatever. They end up taking him down. Everyone, they get out there, da 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 da. Um, this was like not good. This was illegal to be doing. Illegal vigilantism. Everybody's mad as fuck at them, but they're like, okay, we're gonna cover for you guys because you did take him down, but we'll just say it was like to the credit of pro heroes. Like we're not gonna, air your business out like that. And we're not gonna make you go to jail and like, take this against you. That was like not good. And in the midst of doing this discussion, a fucking again more fucking Nomu. This one is flying and it grabs Midoriya, and Stain actually saves Midoriya. Oh, so then we find out a little bit more about Stain's ideology, and he's like not killing all heroes. He just doesn't think that some of the heroes are like genuine heroes. And he's like, All Might is a genuine hero. Midoriya, in our fight, you have shown me that you are a genuine hero. So okay, that will come back up later. And then the last kind of arc for this season is they do these final exams against their teachers. Um, and it mostly is normal. There's a nice little one with Yaoyorozu and Todoroki where they take down Eraserhead, which is like, oh my god, that'd be so scary taking down your teacher. There's a nice one with this one girl, Jiro, who has these like earphone jacks out of her ear so she can like listen to stuff or she can project stuff out of them. They go against President Mike, and we find out that he is afraid of bugs. Really, really, really afraid of bugs. But then, of fucking course, the pair that, gets put up for this next final exam, is Midori and Bakugo. And who are they taking on? Fucking All Might. If I pulled up to my exam and they were like, hey, so your exam that you have to pass is that you have to, you know, take on this fight with All Might. So just fail me now. Just we're not even doing this. Holy hell no. That's like a whole fuck no, fuck no, fuck no. Um anyway, they get the shit beat out of them. They manage to work together for like one half of an issue. Like Midoriya is begging Bakugo, like, work with me, work with me, work with me. And Bakugo's like, oh, fine. Like, I guess I'll give you one of my damn, my big ass grenades. And that's enough. But like I'm telling you, like All Might is fucking beating their asses. Like fucking slamming them against the ground. Like, oh my god. Like fucking North Carolina smash in the face. Like, oh bro, it is serious. But they do manage to pass. And again, like Eraserhead told them like if you don't pass, you don't get to go to the fun summer training we have. So the whole class was super, concerned with that. And then some of them didn't pass, and they were like, no, like we're not gonna get to go to the summer training. Ah. And then Eraserhead again is like, hey, I was just kidding, but if since you didn't pass, you have to do these like extra night classes. Bro is such an asshole, but it's okay. So that's the end of season 2. Season 2 is maybe one of my favorite seasons. I just fuck really, really, really heavy with the sports festival. I think it gives us like a lot of good character moments. We get Todoroki backstory with his like evil dad that he hates, and his dad happens to be number 2 hero. Keep in mind, okay, the burn on his face is from his mom. Let me make that very clear, not the dad. But it's because like she was so traumatized by Endeavor that she looked at Todoroki and saw like Endeavor's eyes and was like, and like threw water on him. Um, but so yeah, season 2, fuck with it heavy. On to season 3. Season 3 is my favorite season of the whole show. Maybe it's because this was the season, like when I first watched, that was like what it had aired up to, what seasons 1 through 3. But this one, like, this shit is so good. So this one starts off and they're at that training camp that, they were talking about last season, where it's like if you pass your exam, you get to do the training. So at the training camp, it's hosted by this little team called the Wild Wild Pussycats. And their powers is one guy is super strong, one girl can manipulate like the ground, one girl is able to do like a search. So she has like the locations of everybody, like she can like see where they all would be, like little dots. Almost like Find My iPhone, but for people. And then the last girl has telepathy, so she can talk to people in the brain. Um, and they have them do their little quirks. They're doing some testing. They're making them do stuff that would like push their limits. So Tokoyami's like sitting in a really dark cave trying to take control of Dark Shadow because, as I said earlier, like Dark Shadow goes out of control when it's too dark. So whatever, they're chilling at the camp, yeah, having a good couple days. Then a couple days into it, they're doing this fun little night activity, and it's supposed to be this like little thing where it was okay. Keep in mind, class 1A and 1B are here, so both classes are here, and it's supposed to be, class 1B is they're out of the woods, and class 1A is walking around in like pairs, and they're trying to scare them, like ha ha ha. Um, then all of a sudden, because this class is fucking cursed, League of Villains pulls up, but no Shigaraki and no Kurogiri, I think, yeah. So then we meet this second chunk of the League of Villains. Dabi, Toga, Twice, Spinner, and they bring this other little kid with them called Mustard that's never shown again, and they have a Nomu with them. And so out in the forest, oh, and there's this motherfucker named Muscular that's also with them. And Muscular's quirk is that like he just has like crazy fucking muscles and he's like super OP, like he's like a human Nomu almost. And so of course somehow Midoriya ends up fighting Muscular alone. The fuck? But he does manage. He does take him down at a great cost to himself, and he's like exhausted and his arms are broken and shit. Um, then Dabi is up by the front where they were doing the remedial lessons. So, Eraserhead and the other teacher from class 1B are up there doing the lessons for the classes. And all of a sudden, they see all this fucking fire, this like blue fire outside, like every fucking where. And Razorhead is like, yo, the fuck is this? Then he sees Dabi, making this fire, and he like pulls up on him and he, kicks him in the face. But then Dabi melts away. He was confused. Then we get the reveal that this motherfucker Twice is able to make body doubles of himself or of other people. So he made a body double of Dabi, and the doubles can still use the quirk. So the double of Dabi gets taken out by Eraserhead. At that point, then Midoriya is running back to Razorhead after his fight with Muscular, and there's a little kid Coda or whatever. That was like the whole reason why Midoriya was able to take down Muscular, because he was like saving the kid. Like it was very much like, I'm doing this for somebody else. Da 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 da. Like I can't stand down. So he gives fucking the little kid to Aizawa, and he's like, I gotta go back out there. And Aizawa is like, bitch, if you don't get back over here now. Of course Midoriya does not listen. So elsewhere in the forest, the little kid Mustard or whatever. I'm not even gonna put a photo of him. This motherfucker is irrelevant ever later. But he just has this like toxic gas going all around. So a bunch of people are like out of commission. Luckily, the one girl Yayorozu with the creation, she makes people some gas masks. So some people are still out and around. Some of the Class B students take his ass down. So then, all right, Mustard down. Um, at this point, Aizawa has got in contact with the one girl that has a telepathy quirk, and he's like, "You need to tell my students that they can use their quirks." And I would have been fucking pissed because then, like, Midoriya is like telling her what to say too, and he's like, "The villains are after Kachan," which is like fucking Bakugo's like childhood nickname that Midoriya gave him, and like this is rage baiting Bakugo because then she's like, "Whoever Kachan is, the villains are after you," on the fucking telepathy to everyone in the camp. Bro is dead. Bro is pissed. Um, but whatever. Todoroki and Bakugo are facing this villain with these fucking knife teeth, and Bakugo keeps trying to rush him, and Todoroki's like, "Fucking no, bruh." Like they were with somebody else that they had to like keep protection over because he got passed out. And then so Todoroki's just constantly making these ice walls so the guy's blades don't get them. This was not good. Elsewhere, Uraka and Sue are being chased after by this little girl named Toga, and we don't find out now, but I'll say it now because it makes more sense for me to explain it. Toga's quirk is that she'll take people's blood, and then if she ingests it, she can body double them, so she can like make herself become them basically. Um, but she can't like use their quirk, but she can make herself look like them. But they take down Toga. Uraka uses some moves she learned at her internship. Pretty badass. So everybody's slowly kind of taking down these villains. And then all of a sudden, this one dude from class meets up with Midoriya and he's like pretty injured. Like he has like an injury and he's like, shh, like don't fucking move, like make no noise. And Midoriya's like, oh my god, damn, like, did you run into a villain? He was like, no, like it's Tokoyami, bruh. And now Midori is realizing like, all right, so we need to go get to Bakugo so that the villains don't get him. And we need to deal with the Tokoyami Dark Shadow issue. So he has this master plan where it's like, they'll get big ass Dark Shadow to follow them and they'll go to Bakugo and then at least they're there to help Bakugo and then he can use his explosions to calm down Dark Shadow. So that's what they do. But like this is like the first taste of like Tokoyami's true power with Dark Shadow is seeing this go down. Like, ooh, remember that. So whatever. Now squad up. Now it's Tokoyami, Bakugo, Shoji, who was the other guy that was helping them. Um, yeah, Bakugo, Todoroki, Midoriya, Tokoyami, and the other dude. And they're like, all right, like Bakugo, bro, you're in danger. Like we gotta handle this. So then they start going da da da, trying to make their way to Azawa. So they're sorry, Eraserhead. Like we gotta regroup with the teacher, bro. And then all of a sudden, this dude comes out from the fucking trees and compresses Tokoyami and Bakugo into these fucking marbles. Oh hell no! Everybody's like, "Fuck, we were so fucking close." Um, and oh wait, Kurogiri is here, but not really on screen. I'll explain it in a second. So then whatever, they have the two marbles, they're able to grab these little marbles from him, and then they realize like, oh no, the marbles we grabbed are just like fucking, tree branches or ice or whatever. Like it's not the ones that had our classmates in them. Luckily someone is able um, you know, Todoroki gets in this fight with Dabi, which oh we'll be getting into that later. But Dabi's taking this shit a little personally at Todoroki. He's being like, ah! It's kind of like, oh, that was a little intense. Todoroki's able to grab one of the marbles, but it's Tokoyami, not Bakugo. So in the end, the villains do end up kidnapping Bakugo. And Kurogiri is, fucking teleporting everybody out of there. And fucking Bakugo is like, stay back. Like, don't chase me. So, whatever. They go back to the school. They're in the hospital. Everyone's getting patched up for all their injuries. And Hiroshima, since he was in the remedial classes, missed the whole fucking fight. And he goes to Todoroki and Midoriya, and he's like, we need to go rescue Bakugo. Like, I can't call myself a hero if I don't help my friend. Like, I literally had to sit and take a step back from this whole shit because I was in fucking remedial classes. Like, I need to do something. Like, I didn't do enough during the fight. And immediately Todoroki is like, yeah, let's go. Like, he's down with it. He's ready to go. Midoriya is like, yes, I will also help. So then they're like, all right, us three. Who else can we recruit? They recruit Yaoyorozu because she was able to make a little tracker and get it stuck on one of the villains. So they have the location of the Nomus, of like the place that they're stored. So then they're like, okay, Yaoyorozu, you're gonna help. Then they also are like, if this has any chance of working, we need to talk to Ida, even because he's class pres, like da da da. And Ida's like, I will go with you, but we're not fighting. Like, I will help you for a rescue mission. Like, no funny business. So then they heal up some more. They come up with a plan. They have to get, in disguises because obviously, like, it would be pretty obvious who they were if they were not. So they're in disguises. During this whole time Bakugo's kidnapped, he's with the League of Villains and they're talking to him and they're like, we see your true villain potential. Like, we saw you at the sports festival. Like, you're so evil. Da 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 da. And bro is sitting there like, like, you guys are dumb. Like, you guys are fucking boof ass dumb. Um, so then, Bakugo's in he's in this little kidnapped area. The other his like little rescue squad is at the Nomu area. And all this is going on, everybody's getting in their positions. Eraserhead is doing a press conference, and the fucking press are so mean. They're like, well, how do you know Bakugo won't be a villain? Seems pretty villainous to me. And he's like, I know the potential of my students. Like, don't ever say that shit to me again. Like, all of my students are in my class to be heroes. Like, don't ever say that about them ever again. So this press conference was actually to distract the League of Villains so that everyone could pull up on their little hideout and go get Bakugo back. So villains pull up, they for a second they get everyone like, fucking wrapped up. Um and then all of a sudden this different type of teleport or warping starts happening where like this sludge is covering them and it's not purple, so it's not Kurogiri, and everybody's like, and Kurogiri's passed out at this point, like they knocked him out. So they're like, what the fuck? Like, where are they going? So then um yeah, they get teleported over to the Nomu area. So now League of Villains, Bakugo Rescue Squad, Bakugo, and some other pro heroes, including Best Jeanist, are at the Nomu area. So of course Ida, they're fucking tweaked out now. Because at first it was like already scary. And then now the whole League of Villains is there. And this crazy guy with this big ass mask is there, and they're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, Bakugo Rescue Squad is like, oh my fucking god, bro, like, we're so done, we're so done. And Midoriya's like, no, guys, like, we can still do this. Like, we just need to give Bakugo the best option, that he will take. Like, because he doesn't, like, he knows he can't fight all these people. Like, he's not that stupid. So then they decide they're gonna do this big fucking like Ida launches them into the air off of this like fucking ramp that Todoroki makes. But the plan hinges on Kirishima because he has to, put his hand out for Bakugo to grab onto. And Todoroki literally said, or not Todoroki, sorry, Midoriya literally tells Kirishima like it has to be you. Like he doesn't like anybody else enough that he sees them as an equal that he'll take their hand. Like it has to be you, bro. Bro. We'll touch on that later. We'll touch on that later. So their mission works. Their little plan works. They shoot up into the sky. Kirishima's like, "Come on!" And then Bakugo's like, "All right, I'm not that dumb." So he takes his hand and they fly off. Um, so they get out of the fight. Yay, squad! They're just in like the town, in the city. Then they find out the Nomu place that they just left. This motherfucker, All For One, which was the dude with this big ass mask. So All For One is the inverse of One For All, which is the power that All Might and Midoriya have. And One For All is passed down from person to person, and it like accumulates the people's quirks, but only from those who pass it down. All For One steals people's quirks. And there's like always battles between the user of One For All and All For One. So All Might has already previously battled this motherfucker, and he's like, All Might's there at this thing. He's like, fuck my life, bro. Fuck my life, bro. The League of Villains, they dip. They're like, okay, All For One, like we know like you're kind of like the boss, but like we're getting the fuck up out of here, bro. Like we're not down with this. Like they're like, we gotta go. Like they tried to get Bakugo, they tried to take him down, and they were like, okay, we're gonna mind our business. Um, so the introduction we get to All For One is number 4 pro hero, Best Jeanist, is like, pulls up on him and he's like, stand down, villain. Um, yeah, so All For One hits him right through the middle of his body, literally gaping hole in the middle of Best Jeanist's body. Oh, bro isn't dead, don't worry, but he does lose lung function. So then eventually it gets down to the fight, and like the other pro heroes, like they get taken elsewhere. They got other shit going on. Now it's serious because it's All Might versus All For One, and like All For One is really putting belt to ass. Like he is low-key fucking up All Might, but All Might pulls it out, takes down All For One. All For One goes to super duper prison jail Tartarus, but he gets out later, but not yet. But he's in jail for now. He's trying to just fucking kill them, but he's in jail. All Might is like I gotta retire after this, bro. Like that was my last fight. Like my body, like I don't have enough like of my power left in me because I gave it to Midoriya. Like I gotta be done. So now All Might retires. Um, we'll get into the ramifications of that later. But they all make it out. Everyone survives. No one's kidnapped, and they decide since this class is cursed, and they're always under villain attack, they're gonna have to get dorms on campus instead of go to their houses. So yay, yay, yay! The all the kids get to live on campus. So cute. They just gotta keep going on, bro. Like this class just gotta go. Like, yeah, you got to by villains. 2 weeks later, all right, now you gotta do this provisional license exam so that you can actually fight if need be. They do this exam. It's just like a couple schools. So it's like UA does it, and then some other schools, and then the only other really relevant school is Shiketsu, which is like the equivalent of UA from like a different area. Um, okay, like the provisional license exam is fun. The most fun part is that Kirishima, Kaminari, and Bakugo team up, and Kaminari gives this nice little speech, which is the intro equivalent to the Bakugo is not a monster speech, which if you know, you know. Um, but anyway, they all get their provisional license exams except for Todoroki and Bakugo. Because the first chunk of the exam is like fight the other kids, and then only so many move on. The second chunk is for those who moved on, which everyone moved on. Now you have to do like a rescue mission and take down the villain. Todoroki is too busy fucking around with this guy that controls wind. Bakugo is too busy being an asshole to the people he's meant to be saving. So both of them don't pass. Oh, that's embarrassing. So then, whatever. They go back to the dorms at night. And then Bakugo is like fucking ego death, fully ego deathed. Like he's fully fucking crazy on some insane crash out. And he goes to Midoriya and he's like, we're gonna fucking fight. Like, we gotta fight this right fucking now. He's like, I'm mad that I got kidnapped. Whatever, I'm already fucking don't like you, da 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 da. And then he starts like literally like, obviously the fight is like him like airing out all his fucking problems. And at some point he's like, and I fucking killed All Might, like I'm the one that, made him retire, like I'm the fucking loser that, couldn't help myself from getting kidnapped. And he's still fighting Midoriya. Like Midoriya is like, oh my god, I'm getting my ass beat, Loki. Midoriya gets some punches into, but Bakugo does ultimately win this little fight outside the dorms. Of course, UA has robots, so like they recorded the whole fight, and the robots immediately were like, "Yo, Mr. Eraserhead, like your students are fighting." I know his ass is tired. I know he's fucking tired. But whatever. After they clear the air a little bit, now Bakugo isn't so intentionally mean to Midoriya. Like he doesn't want to talk to him. He doesn't want to be by him. But he doesn't actively not actively aggressive towards him much more after this fight. Then the final episode of season 3, we get introduced to the big three, which are from the third year hero students. And it is this dude, Amajiki, who if he eats something, he can like become it. So if he eats like squid, he can have like tentacle fingers. And if he eats like chicken, he can have wings. This dude Mirio, who can like phase through things, or okay, permeation is what it's called. So he like permeates through things. He's like super powerful. He's pretty cool, bro. And then the last girl is Nejire, and she has like these energy blasts. That's their powers. And they fight the students, and they kind of gag the fuck out of the students because Aizawa introduces them, and then they're like, oh, like this is what like truly powerful students are like. Like this is students that have like legit training. Like this is gonna be us in the future. So that's the big three. Season 4 opens up, and it's focusing on another set of like work studies that the students are doing. Um, keep in mind Todoroki and Bakugo can't do the work study yet because they still don't have their license, so they're stuck not doing it. But other people are doing it. Um, the main the main four people that kind of matter in this arc are Midoriya, Kirishima, and then Uraraka and Sue. So Midoriya is interning with this dude, Sir Night Eye, and that's actually who Mirio is with. So it's like that's why the big three are introduced because they're fellow, intern students with the same heroes. Sir Night Eye has this like uh future predicting power type thing. So like he's like, let's fight Midoriya, and Midoriya like gets his ass beat by this regular looking scrawny dude because he can like predict where all his moves are gonna be. And then he's like, you need to like learn to predict your enemy the way that I'm predicting you. So now it's like, okay, yes, move up. Kirishima is interning with this dude Fat Gum. I'm mad at myself that I did not put Fat Gum on the heroes list. This bro is my goat. This is my goat, bro. This is my goat. Like this dude is so awesome. So Kirishima and Amajiki are the ones that are with Fat Gum. And it's pretty obvious that Fat Gum has taken on students that kind of have like self worth issues, which I'll get into in about 1 second. But Amajiki's like a very shy character. Kirishima, outwardly is, very happy and open, but you can kind of tell he like doubts himself. And then the last intern group is Uraraka and Sue, and they're with this hero Ryukyu who can become a dragon. And they're with Nejire. And so these little, all of them, they're doing their stuff, they're doing their internships. Kirishima, is the first in the class to have a debut. He's out doing a patrol with Fat Gum, and this guy shoots a bullet at Amajiki, and all of a sudden Amajiki can't use his quirk. Oh, that's not fucking good. So Kirishima chases the motherfucker down, takes him down, even though this dude is like fucking drugged up on some, super quirk drug. Kirishima goes unbreakable, which is his like big move. He like makes his body like literally like super, super, super sturdy. And he like, nothing, like no knife, nothing is gonna do nothing to that. So he debuts, yay, awesome. And with Midoriya, him and Mirio run into this little girl, and she's like covered in bandages, and they're like, "Hey, little girl, like, do you need help?" And she's like, uh, uh. And then her dad comes and gets her, and it's like, "She's okay, don't bother." And they walk away. This kind of traumatizes Midoriya and Mirio because they're like, oh, that little girl definitely wasn't okay. So then they find out that the little girl's name is Aerie and that she is in fact not okay and that she's actually the reason why the quirk erasing bullets exist. And they weren't erasing, but at this point they were like quirk, like pause bullets, where it was like Amajiki gets his quirk back, but for a minute there it was like a couple hours, like for a day or whatever, like he couldn't use it. Um, but they found out that like the way that these are being made is through Aerie. And so then everybody, all the hero companies come together and they're like, we're gonna do a rescue mission for the little girl. So everyone pulls up, Midoriya, Kirishima, Uraraka, and Sue pull up. Eraserhead is there, Fat Gum is there, Mirio, Amajiki, Nejire are there, like squad up. Other dude, a bunch of police are there. Other hero, Rocklock is there. Like every just like the whole squad pulls up. And they're like, okay, we find out that Aerie is with this like fucking like Yakuza group and that they're like obviously fucking abusing her. Then we get some insight into the Yakuza group and they are trying to work together with the League of Villains, but the League is like, ew, like you guys are just like abusing this little girl, like we want to eliminate heroes. Like that I don't see how doing that is doing none of that. Like no. But they pretend to play along for a little bit. They literally were like, "Yeah, we'll help you." So then whatever. The big rescue mission raid starts. And all the heroes rush in. And the first bit we get is that, Amajiki tells Fat Gum, like, yo, I'ma handle these villains on my own. Like, you guys gotta keep moving. He does end up handling it. He takes down three of these like high ranking members all on his own. Pretty fucking badass. But he does unfortunately pass out of exhaustion. So Amajiki's off the table. Then they keep running down this hallway. The hallway, like it's getting really crazy, like it's swaying and there's new stuff being built and whatever. And all of a sudden, obviously Eraserhead is here, so the people that are controlling the building are really trying to isolate him because they're like, yo, like, Eraserhead is there, like we're fucked. Like every villain hates Eraserhead basically because they're like, bro, he's just gonna take my power and then I'm useless. Um, So at one point they try to hit him with a wall so he'll move on to like a different part of the building because like it's like they're manipulating the building. So they'll push him and then open a new room. Fat Gum is like, no, he like pushes the basement out of the way. But what Fat Gum doesn't know is that Kirishima also was about to do that. So now Kirishima and Fat Gum get put into the other room, and they get met with this like guy that can make these shields, and then this like super fucking buff dude, and they're like, okay, this is bad. This is not good. This is not good. Um, and so Kirishima does his initial unbreakable, and he breaks. Oh, the super buff dude punches him, and he's like, doo. So then we get this whole episode. Like, this is probably the best episode of the show. I'm not even lying. Maybe it's because I'm like Kirishima's number one fan, but this shit is just so good. We get his whole backstory about how he used to be super self conscious and he would always hesitate, and he like saw a villain attack once, and then he didn't help, and he felt super bad about it, and he like almost didn't go to UA at all, and da 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 da. But then eventually, like, he was watching back some old videos from his favorite hero ever, Crimson Riot, and he was like, "Oh my god, like I need to be a true hero like him. Like I need to, accept that if I die, it's to save somebody else. Like then that has to be it. Like da 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 da." So then, the whole episode we're doing all these flashbacks. Like Fat Gum, like the buff dude is just punching the fuck out of Fat Gum. Keep in mind, Fat Gum's power is like he just like absorbs the punches. So he was like, "Oh, this kind of hurts, but like I'm not dead. Like I'm not being pummeled in the ground." Kirishima then, this bro, the villain is like fucking like packing up a huge punch. And Kirishima runs in front of Fat Gum and goes unbreakable for real this time, and he does not break. Hey, that shit was so good. Hey, this is like the best episode ever, guys. Like, you need to tune in. You need to tune in. Um, so whatever. He survives that whole debacle. And then since Fat Gum absorbed all these punches, he does like one super punch and he takes out the villains. So their little section, they're good. At this point in the hallway stuff, Mirio has one super far ahead because he's just like, I gotta get to this little fucking girl. Like, I gotta get to this girl, bro. Like, this is so bad. And since he has like permeation, he just like runs through all the diversions and new walls that are being created. At some point, Eraserhead gets the guy that is making the walls move and shake and whatever. So then they're like, hey, but they get him, and as they find out, where that motherfucker was hiding, they see Toga and Twice. Not good. But Toga and Twice kind of mind their business, and they walk away, and they're like, okay, like like we don't really even want to be involved with these like fuck ass like villain group. Like we don't even like want to be involved with them. So they kind of get their shit, they leave, la da da da. They get some cork racing bullets is what they got. Sorry. Then they leave. So now at this point, Mirio is caught up to Overhaul, which is the dad from before, and his quirk is that he can like build and destroy things basically. And he catches up to him and Eri, and he starts like low-key beating on him, bruh. Like, cause you have to imagine, like, so when they have Mirio punch someone, like it's like you put up a block, he's just gonna fucking permeate his fist through you and then hit you back. So he does that a bunch. He's hitting on him, mama. He gets Eri out of him, gives her his cape, la di da di da. Then, oh, he gets hit with a cork racing bullet. Not good. Eri already super guilty, but as he's getting hit with his bullet and she knows what the bullet does, he smiles at her, bro, so that she won't feel bad. So cute, so cute. Um, so then now Mirio is fighting this bitch alone, no quirk, still low key putting belt to ass. Kind of awesome. He does start getting beat up a little bit, gets, some like concrete stabs in him. Then Sir Night Eye pulls up, which is their little mentor, him and Midori's little mentor. Um, and Sir Night Eye is like, no, like in his future vision, he's like, oh fuck, like I'm dying, like I'm about to die, fuck my life. Um, but he protects Eri a little bit. He gets Mirio. At this point, Eraserhead has been taken off the board. He got trapped by some other villain and paralyzed for a certain amount of time. So they're like, Razorhead isn't coming. Like, we're fucked. So then they're still doing this fight, and then outside of the building, where Uraraka and Sue and the dragon hero Ryukyu are, Toga disguises herself, she does her little power and she shows up as Midoriya, and she tells them they need help in the basement. Like she gets them to go help Eri. Okay, Toga. We'll get to that later. Um, so then, whatever. Now, more extra backup is down here in this basement to take on Overhaul. Um, Now Midoriya is here. Everyone legit is here. They're like, damn, Mirio, you gotta go, brother, because you ain't got no quirk and you're getting your ass beat. Um, so Midoriya ends up, Eri gets on his back, piggyback ride, and Midoriya starts beating the fuck out of Overhaul, and Aries' quirk is going off, which her quirk is like rewind. So now any damage that Midoriya would be taking, he's not taking it, not even from his own power. So he's going like crazy ass, like 100% punches, like 100% power, like not no bones breaking, da 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 da. He wins the fight against Overhaul. They rescue Aerie. Overhaul and all his little lackeys go to jail. Obviously, the League of Villains members that were there get away, but they were like, that wasn't even our mission. Like, fine, whatever the fuck. Like, that was a distraction. But they rescue Aerie. Sir Night Eye does die. Not so A. Everybody's in the hospital. Mirio, like, you know, Midoriya goes to his hospital room, and is like, bro, like, are you good? And then Mirio's like, yeah. Like, I guess I'll miss my quirk, and I guess I'll miss Sir Night Eye, but I just can't help but think that at least we saved the little girl. Hey, it's so cute, bro. For a while here, Eraserhead ends up kind of being Aries' guardian, because since she has her rewind quirk, she can't control it. They're like, that's dangerous, so we need you to step up. Eraserhead, he's like, all right, bro, like, I guess I'll be her dad, whatever. But all the students make it out alive. Super awesome. They rescue Aries, super awesome. So now, you know, that's kind of like the most important part of this season. It takes up like a really big chunk of the season. The last little bit of the season is they have another school festival, but it's just like a fun one. And so class 1A find out that all the other like support classes and business classes and stuff like don't like them. They find out like, oh, like they hate that we bring so much attention to the school and that we bring like villain attention and da 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 da. So they're like, ooh, like our performance has to be like the best of all time. Like we gotta really be good at this. So they decide to do this music performance. And they have a little band, da 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 da, all goes well. Ari gets to watch their performance. She smiles for the first time since being rescued. Very big moment. Um, Also during this, there's like a brief thing where this guy called Gentle Criminal, tries to ruin the festival, and Midoriya beats him up, and then he goes to jail. That's basically it. And then on the very last episode of the season, it's about Endeavor, who is now the number one hero because obviously fucking All Might had to retire, and Hawks, who's the number two hero, who I've not talked about yet because it hasn't shown up. They get in this crazy ass fight with a Nomu, but this Nomu is like intelligent, like it can talk and shit. Oh, not good. And it's like fucking them up, Loki. Like it's fucking Endeavor up, and it's Loki embarrassing. Um, but so as a result of this fucking Endeavor Hawks fight against the Nomu, Endeavor ends up with this big ass scar on his face. Oh, not you and your son got matching scars. Eek. Um, and Hawks, his power is that he has these wings, and then he can like control each individual feather and use it to like grab people, attack, da 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 da. So he gets a lot of his wings get burnt off, and he ends up using a lot of them up in this fight to save civilians. But they do take down the Nomu. I know that's right. Um, that season four. Season four is really good in terms of it gives me a lot of content for Kirishima, so I'm happy. That's all I need. That's all I care about. So season five. Oh, also let me say that during these fights that Midoriya's been having, he's slowly been kind of realizing like, okay, like obviously like this like his quirk that he has from All Might, like he's kind of realizing like there's other quirks like within this. Like he's like slowly coming to that, and he's having these dreams about past users, and he's talking to them and they're talking to him, and he's like, what the fuck is going on? So that was like not like uh-oh, but not really uh-oh, just kind of like what the fuck is that? But anyway, season 5 is they do all of this training battles. So it's like groups from class 1A and 1B, and then hey, reappearance of my goat, Shinso is back. So if he does good in these training battles, then he can potentially become a member of the hero course. Hey, I know that's right. So the first battle, um, Shinso is on the team with Class 1A, and the team has okay. The only relevant members of the team really, because there's other people, but they get taken out quick. Sorry, Hiroshima. Kaminari, Asui, and Shinso are the only kind of like relevant members, because everyone else gets taken out by Class 1B first. And we find out that Shinso. So first of all, he has the same capture weapon that Eraserhead has, and Eraserhead has been training him. Hey, so cute. He has this new little like vocal modulator thing where he can make his voice sound like someone else's voice. So he can, disguise his voice as someone else from class 1B and then ask someone like, "Hey," and they're way more likely to respond because they know it's like someone familiar with his voice. This fight, it starts off really bad for class 1A and Shinso, like, uh-oh, like we're losing, not good, not good. But they pull it out. Some teamwork. Kaminari sacrifices himself for the team. Asui, good team leader. And Shinzo like does his job, bro. Like he gets everybody so paranoid about speaking on the other team that their communication totally shuts down, which is why they lose. So that was a win for Class 1A. Fight 2, we have the relevant members of this team basically are Yayorozu and Tokoyami. And they're up against a bunch of people from Class 1B. But the one guy in Class 1B, his quirk is that like it's like shadow. So he can like go into shadows and like exist in the darkness and like move around in there. Not good against Tokoyami with Dark Shadow. So at the beginning of this fight, the Shadow guy jumps into Dark Shadow and has Dark Shadow start attacking Tokoyami, and Tokoyami's like, "Fuck my fucking life, bro! Get out of my shadow! Like, get out of me!" um, they end up getting him out because they put a bunch of sunlight in there, and then he has no more shadow to hide in. But during this little episode where we get some Tokoyami lore, we find out that in both his initial work study and his internship, he was with Hawks. So the first time around, he was like, damn, like Hawks is just like fucking does not care about me. Like he only wanted to talk to me to find out shit about the villain attacks. Like he literally like is not being a good mentor. The second time around, Hawks is still being kind of whatever, like kind of like, oh, what about this new villain attack? What about your classmate got kidnapped? Like da 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 da. And Tokoyami is like, Loki giving him fucking attitude back. But at one point, Hawks is like, let's go, bro. Like we're gonna go fly. And he's like, they're like, I can't fly, the fuck. And Hawks is like, yeah, you can. Like I'm gonna teach you. So he teaches Tokoyami how to use Dark Shadow to like hold around his body and then fly. This shit is so awesome, bro. The reveal that he knows how to fly is so fucking awesome. And just like I don't know, guys, like the TikTok edit to Birds of a Feather of them. Oh, I ate, like I stand. Um, but they unfortunately their team does end up losing. So not good. Victory for Class 1B. You already know that has Monoma literally doing his maniacal laughter. So the third team is relevant members are Todoroki and Ida, and then from Class 1B, I'll actually name them because it kind of matters. Honanuki, whose quirk is that he can touch the ground with his feet or his hands, and it becomes like putty, like it's like liquidy, and it you sink in it. And then Tetsu Tetsu, who is essentially Kirishima, but instead of becoming a rock, he becomes like iron. Um, and so this fight ends in a tie because everybody is literally just going crazy. Tetsu Tetsu is trying to rush, Todoroki because he's like, I'm like metal, like, like you can't, like your fire doesn't damage me, your ice doesn't damage me. And like I'm telling you guys, like Todoroki reaches like some fucking endeavor levels of fire. Like he's like literally lighting his ass up. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. Um, but so yeah, everyone ends up like fucking either passed out under a building, otherwise just unable to continue the fight, or just not whatever. And no one got put in the other side's like jails, so like they just no one had any points, and then the timer runs out. So that was a tie. But ooh, that was like bad. But we do get to see Todoroki embrace his fire truly, so that was nice. The fourth group is Bakugo, Jiro, Sero, and this guy Sato versus this group of students in Class B. And okay, the Class B students' quirks are one girl can split her body into a bunch of pieces, one guy produces glue, one guy has these like blade elbows, and then the last guy can meld stuff. Like if he touches you and the thing, like he can meld you together with it. Um So before the fight, Bakugo's team is begging him, like, bro, we need a plan, we need a plan. He goes, the plan is like, if I'm in trouble, you save my ass. If you're in trouble, I'll save your ass. Like, bro, I'm gonna be the leader. Like, let's get this done. And so of course, like team 1B doesn't really know that Bakugo is able to do any semblance of teamwork. So they get him and they think they've like, got him out of the way, are distracting him, and they go to attack Jiro, who has the earphones, and all of a sudden, Bakugo blasts in front of her, blasts the dude coming after her, and kicks her back. He saved her by kicking her. Oh, progress, progress, progress. So whatever, their fight goes on. At another point, the guy with the melding quirk like melds Bakugo between these two walls. He's like, bro, like, fuck my fucking life, like I'm stuck. Like this is so bad. Um, and then he gets broken out by his teammate, and then he's like attacking, 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 and like I'm saying, like this is like total victory. Like they're like no one in Bakugo's team is gonna be put in the jail or gonna be otherwise incapacitated, and every single member of the other team is going to be. Like he was like, I decided we're gonna have an absolute victory, and they do. But it is like teamwork. Like it is like it was so fucking good, bro. It was so good. So of course their team wins. Another win for Class 1A. They pan over to the students when they were like watching this battle. Holy shit, Monoma is crashing the fuck out. He's like, no one can change that much in a couple months. How the fuck did he change that much? How can he do teamwork now? He's like going fucking crazy. And their whole class is like, yeah, Bakugo has gotten better about working with other people. Like, whoa. So then time for the last battle. Last battle is relevant members are Midoriya, Uraka, and Shinso versus Monoma. Oh, sorry. Midoriya, Uraka team versus Shinso and Monoma team. Um, this battle, Shinso is trying to rage bait Midoriya into talking to him again so that he can mind control him. But this flops because then Midoriya doesn't answer his mind control, but all of a sudden, like he has this new quirk where he has these like ropes coming out of him, and though everybody's gagged, the teachers are like, "Do we need to step in?" Like, what is this? Like, this is not good. Definitely, 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 definitely not what was planned. And so then the teachers are like, bro, like Uraka and Shinso, like, go get Midoriya to stop having this crazy fucking quirk evolution. Of course, Bakugo is like, of course. Yeah, of course you get more fucking quirks. Your fucking borrowed quirk, and now you have an extra one. Crash out. Anyway, Uraka, gets to Midoriya, makes him float. Shinso is like, talk to me, bro. Like, bruh, 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 bruh. And so then eventually, like, he's able to mind control Midoriya, and then they get it under wraps. And then the battle, they do let it continue. Um, Midoriya's team does win. So now Shinso is like, fuck my fucking life. Like, I'm not going to get into the hero course. But Aizawa tells him, like, nah, bro, like, you did pretty good today. Like, just wait. So overall, though, I mean, Class 1B put up a good fight. It was nice to see their powers. You'll notice, like, sometimes, I don't know, Sometimes I know their names, which is impressive for me, but not really. So, next little bit of this is that we get some new work study groups. So, Tokiyami is still with Hawks, but Hawks is doing a bunch of work with Endeavor. And currently working with Endeavor is Midoriya because his old mentor is dead. And then Bakugo and Todoroki because they were late to the party because they had to do like another license exam to get theirs back after they flopped on the first one. And during this, we start finding out that like Hawks is undercover in infiltrating the League of Villains and trying to convince them he's like a double agent. Ooh, messy. And then we also get the most awkward family dinner on earth. Okay, like the Todoroki family, so Todoroki, Endeavor, and then his older brother, older sister have this dinner, and they're like, "Oh, like Midoriya and Bakugo, you should come with us because you're working with Endeavor." Da da da. Oh, this fucking dinner is so awkward, bro. Like Todoroki makes a joke about like we have matching scars to his dad. The sister is trying so hard to like keep the family together, but the brother like obviously hates the dad and is always being like like quippy as fuck. Like, and then fucking Midori and Bakugo are like, this is like the worst family ever. Like, holy shit. Um, Everyone survives the dinner, and I just had to mention it. I just had to mention it. The only other big thing that happens this season is during the All Might and All For One battle, that whole little saga like 2 seasons ago, the police were able to capture Kurogiri and um, they find out that he's actually a Nomu. So he has multiple people's powers in him, and he's kind of the same as like he's like a high end one, the same type of one that Hawks and Endeavor fought before. But he's like the like best of the best to ever come from these experiments. And the police find out like one of the quirks or the people, that's kind of like a part of this Kurogiri Nomu is this guy called Shirakumo. And then they're like, yo, President Mike and Eraserhead, you gotta get down here. And we find out that, oh my god, some more Eraser lore. Please, this is so good. We find out that Eraserhead and President Mike were like super best friends with this dude, Shirakumo, in high school. They were like a little trio. And during a mission, the three of them were out there. And okay, I'm gonna just explain the whole situation right now. We get some of this information later, but this is what happens. So the assumption is they were in this like urban area, so a lot of buildings. So the villains, okay, so All For One and this like Nomu and the doctor that makes the Nomu were initially after Erasure, obviously. That was like the one they really wanted. But they were willing to take Shirakumo's quirk because they were like, whatever, like we just need somebody else's. Like, fine, we'll take his because his was like clouds, so he could like sit on clouds, move clouds, make it rain, da da da. He like something for the X-Men, but without electricity. Um, and so then at this battle in the city, President Mike uses his voice too much and he makes the building collapse. So like the dynamic of this is that Shirakumo dies at this battle when they're teenagers. They're not even out of high school yet. Eraserhead kind of knows that President Mike is the one that brought the building down, which is like what, like Shirakumo fell under the building. So he kind of knows that President Mike did it. President Mike found out later that the villains were after Erasure, so that he knows that the villains kind of did this to get to Eraserhead. So both of them think that it's like, or they know that like part of the motivation for this is the other's fault, but they won't tell each other, and it's so sad. Um, but they go to this interrogation and they're like begging and pleading with Kurogiri. They're like, bro, like we know you're in there. Like, do you remember? Like, do you remember our song? Like, but that's what they're doing. At near the end of it, like they're literally like screaming at him, like fucking bursting out crying, and Kurogiri goes fucking crazy. Like his whole body, like the fucking mist form of the body is like exploding everywhere. And then for a second, they see Shirakumo's face, and I think he says like "I'm sorry" or something, and then Kurogiri goes back to normal and doesn't say another fucking word. And it was like, oh my god, that's so crazy. Whoa, oh my god, that's so crazy. But that's the last part of the season. That's maybe my other favorite episode ever is when they do that. Like I was like, oh, this is so good. This is so good. This is so good. So season six, okay, season six, seven, and eight is where like I'm probably gonna low key speed run explaining these because it's hard to explain the fighting. And these seasons are like almost entirely fighting. Um, so since Hawks has been infiltrating the League of Villains, he's been getting a lot of info on what's going down. And he is like, okay, we need to confront them first. Like, we need to get heroes together and go. So he's already at the little meetup place that the League of Villains goes to. So they have their like hideout, and then there's like the hospital that they make the Nomu at. So Hawks is at the hideout, and he gets the villain. He gets like a bunch of heroes set up on both sites, so the hospital site and like the house site. So Hawks is at the house site, and he's talking to Twice and Dobby, and then Dobby leaves for a little bit, and he's still talking to Twice, and Twice realizes like, oh shit, bro, like Hawks is not my friend. Like, bro is definitely a secret agent, and he definitely just sold us the fuck out. And so Hawks, okay, so Dobby like does attack Hawks a little bit, and Hawks does kill him. Ooh, this was so bad, bro. Ooh, this was so bad. Let's put a death on the board. Sorry, brother. You're gone. Not good, not good, not good. Um, so obviously, yeah, so Hawks kills Twice. Dobby pulls up, he's like, the fuck? But at this point now, the heroes, other more heroes are coming in to come attack this like home base. Um, so at some point, Tokoyami realizes like, oh shit, bro, my mentor is over there. Like, okay, so first Tokoyami was there just for like observations. They were like, use Dark Shadow and go see what people are in the building. But he wasn't aware of what was going on with the Dobby and Hawks and Twice situation. So then Fat Gum takes him, and because Fat Gum can like absorb people, I'll put a photo in the video or whatever. Um, so he has like Tokoyami, and Tokoyami like sees all these blue flames, and he's like, "That's where Hawks was, bro. Like, I gotta go help my mentor." He escapes Fat Gum's grasps. That has never happened before. Bro is just that strong. Then he goes, and Dobby is like obviously taunting the fuck out of him, and he's like, "Oh, like you still gonna help your hero? Like, you see what he did? Like, look, he just killed that motherfucker." And Tokoyami is like, "Bro, like that's still my goat. Like, I'm sorry." So whatever. He gets the two of them out of there, even though Hawks is like fucked up. Like Hawks, like his wings are gone. Like they're burnt to a fucking crisp by Dobby. Dobby out of control. Da 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 da. So then that was basically at the home base, and they're all just fighting. La da da da. Some of the like students are there. Some of them are like at the house. Some of them are kind of in the forest adjacent to the house, like ready for backup. Then at the hospital site, you have like the actual pros because they're up against a bunch of fucking no moves. So Eraserhead Present Mike are there, Endeavor's there, and my fucking goat of all time, Mirko is there. Bro. Bro, this character, bro. Anyway, they get down in this lab, um, and they find out that they're trying to make Shigaraki a Nomu. Oh, that's not gonna work. Um, Miracle and Present Mike are able to. He's in this like glass tube with all this fucking liquid, whatever the hell, and the evil scientist doctor guy is like, no, he needs to stay in longer. He wasn't in long enough. But whatever. Miracle and Present Mike break him out of the tube. And bros kind of like flop on the floor, and they're like, okay, we gotta go back and fight those Nomu. So Present Mike deals with the doctor. That's where he finds out the shit about, the doctor's like evil. He's like, an erasure is the one we were really after. So that's when Present Mike is like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, bro. Like, you're not, like, I know you did not just say that shit, bro. Miracle goes back to the fight. At this point, Miracle loses her fucking arm and gets half her fucking. She has like a bunny quirk, so she's like super jumpy, super strong, and she has ears, so she has like better listening. One of her ears half bitten off, one arm off already. She's tourniqueting the bleeding limb with her hair. Holy shit! But then they hear some rattling back from where all this Shigaraki shit was happening, and they're like, "Oh fuck!" And Shigaraki has woken up, and he is decaying the fuck out of everything. They get out of the basement. Some Nomus break out of the basement. Couple pro heroes die, but my goats make it out. And then so now everyone at the hospital site is just on this big ass open like field area. And at this point, Shigaraki is out now. He's fucking extra special, got super platinum blonde long hair, bro. He got that 40-inch hair. He's like woken up, whatever. He's decaying the fuck out of everything in sight. He's talking about like, bring me all for wine. And he's like saying this, and then like the pros are like on their comms, and Midoriya and Bakugo are also on the comms, and they hear him say this, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta go," because like at this point, Bakugo has known about All for One, because Midoriya like told him legit, like it's from All Might, like da 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 da. So then they pull up to the battle. Todoroki sees them running. He starts running behind them, but he's like a distance back. So now there's like a bunch of people up on this fight. The fight at the home base is like a lost cause right now because Shigaraki was able to make this big ass giant rock monster thing called Gigantomania wake up, and he's just like destroying everybody. And the class 1A other students that are there are trying to make like a little potion, like a sleep thing. It's kind of flopping, but whatever. He's slowly marching towards the hospital, area. Um, so at the hospital area, people are beating up Shigaraki. Obviously, Aizawa, Eraserhead knows that his one goal here is like keep my eyes on him and don't let him use the K again. Like lock it in. So he locks it in. His fuck ass students pull up. Midori and Bakugo pull up, and he's exhausted. He's fucking tired. But they pull up, and he's like, "Well, what the fuck can I do? Like, let me focus on me." So he's already got injured earlier in the Nomu fight. So he's like with his little buddy that makes water for his eyes, and he's like, "Okay, bro, like we're just gonna stand here." And they're fighting. Midoriya is trying to fuck up Shigaraki. Like he's really fucking him up. Bakugo's fucking up other people. Dragon Hero Ryukyu is back. I didn't write her name down. Oops. Um, and they realize Shigaraki got a gun. He bought a gun to a quirk fight. Oh fuck. So he shoots this gun, and Midoriya and Ryukyu are able to be like, Eraserhead, like, get fucking ready, like the bullet's coming at you. This fucking quirk erasing bullet hits Eraserhead in the leg, fucking 0-second reaction time. Bro pulls out a knife from his little belt and cuts his own leg off. Oh my god, I literally sat up in my bed like when this happened. Like that was so fucking scary. That was so shocking. I was literally dead as fuck. Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. This shit is so serious. But so obviously when he cuts his leg off, he blinks for half a second. And in that fucking second, bro, Shigaraki jumps at him. And he like is literally like, bah! And he like gets in Eraserhead's face and he claws his eye out with his hand. In the span of like 1 minute, Eraserhead just lost his leg and his eye. Oh, it is not looking good. So this is like not good, not good, not good. Then over, this fucking gigantic Gigantomania beast is marching towards the hospital site. It has the whole League of Villains on his back. And you see Dabi talking with this guy on the computer, and he's like, release him. Like, release it, release it. And you're like, oh, like, what the fuck is going on? They pull up to the site. Dabi locks eyes with Endeavor, pours this liquid over his head, reveals his hair in white, and says, don't you remember me, Dad? Oh my fucking god, oh my fucking god, oh my fucking god, oh my fucking god. Like this arc, you did not get a fucking second to catch your breath. Holy shit, it was always fucking something. Okay, yeah, reveal there was another Todoroki sibling that we already knew about from flashback images named Toya. And this was a really popular fandom theory, so this was so fucking gag when it came out that it was true that Dabi was a Todoroki. This shit out trended the presidential election on Twitter. Never forget. This was so fucking crazy. So fucking crazy. Like, yeah. So then now Endeavor and Todoroki are fighting Dabi, who's their fucking long lost family member. Like, oh my god, this is so messy. That was not good. So then it's like looking really bad for the heroes. Like, damn, this is bad. Like, this is bad. Like, keep in mind, like, this whole arc, like, the way that Hawks was able to infiltrate the League of Villains was he was like, I'll kill Best Genius and show you his body. So, everybody's under the assumption Best Genius is missing or dead. Bakugo low key depressed about that because he's like, damn, bro, that was my OG mentor. Like, I hated him, but I fucked with him. Like, fuck. Then from the fucking sky, Best Genius jumps out of an airplane in maybe the most aura-farming entrance in existence. He jumps out of this plane, fucking uses his little power to get everybody up. Like, he's like, I'm fucking up these Nomu, I'm fucking up the League of Villains, like, da 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 da. Got you bitches, bro. Like, not gonna be a conversation. Um, this was my goat, bro. This was so awesome for me. Again, like, everything, every fucking episode, it was a new fucking thing, bro. I was happy. Bakugo tells Best Genius his hero name. It's lame, so I'm not saying it out loud. Sorry, not sorry. We'll talk about that later. Um, like, this was just so awesome. But unfortunately, it was not enough, and the League of Villains does get away. And at one point, Bakugo is fighting with Shigaraki, and Shigaraki has all these extra quirks now, and he like fucking shoots this like impaling blade thing at Bakugo. It's like, ooh, that was his like fake out death, but he survived, but that was not good. But they flop, bro. They flop. The villains escape. They start releasing a bunch of people from all the prisons, including Tartarus, which is where fucking All for One is. So now he's out on the loose. Oh, fuck my life, bro. So obviously now all the villains, any villain that I've mentioned in this whole show, Stain is out, Gentle Criminal is out, all of these bitches are out. Oh, it's hellish. It's hellish. And the public is really not with this. Villains on loose everywhere. Revealed that the number one pro hero abused his family and has an evil secret son. Literally done. Literally, it's done. Literally, it's over for pro heroes. Other pro heroes are dropping out of the profession. They're like, I'm not gonna do this. Like, I can't do this. Like, the public not supportive at all anymore. The other kids, other students, like, have to say, they're not really in class anymore, but they have to like stay at UA. Midoriya talks to All Might in Gran Torino, and they basically tell him like, go out there and fuck some shit up. Like, go out there and find out what the League of Villains wants to do, and go be a vigilante. Like, we don't gaff. Like, go. Like, Gran Torino literally tells him like, go fuck him up. Like, ooh, this was crazy. This was crazy. Keep in mind, throughout this past season, like, Midoriya's kind of been waking up these other quirks from the other past users. So there's 9 users total, including him. The 8th is All Might, and there's the 7 previous users. So he already has like the rope one, Black Whip. He's figuring out he can use this one where he can like float. He has like a danger sense one, like da 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 da. He has all these fucking things now. Um, and so now Midoriya's at his little vigilante era, and you know he's doing this at the request of All Might, Gran Torino, and Hawks. And Hawks tells him, you gotta watch out for this one chick. Like, she's like your real serious threat besides, any of these other people. Like, watch out, watch out, watch out. And then she pulls up. Ooh, this baddie, Lady Nagant. First of all, hair twin. But she just like can make her arm like a rifle and shoot stuff. She's like really fucking good at it. And she used to work with the Hero Commission, which is like, the system that the heroes work under. But they would hire her for these like secret missions where she would just go and kill people. What? What? That kind of plays into Hawk's lore, where Hawks was like abandoned when he was like a kid, and then the Hero Commission had literally been training him since he was like 6 years old to be the perfect hero. Hero Commission is definitely corrupt and bad. Um, but Midoriya is able to talk down Lady Nagant and get her to be a true hero again and see being a hero. But she was like working with All for One, and then he had some type of quirk on her where it made her like shatter and get super fucked up. But in her heart, she changed. But then she got taken out of commission, and that's kind of like a bunch of shit with season 6. We get the reveal like at the end of season 6, kind of wraps up. So Aizawa is okay. Eraserhead alive. without an eye and without a leg. And because his eye is gone, he can't really use his quirk effectively. So it's like, ooh, that's not great. League of Villains on the run, but they're not like the League isn't actively causing chaos. Like they're reunited with All for One, and they're coming up with a new plan. The people that like Midoriya is fighting at the vigilante stuff is these other prison escapees that got let loose. Um, and like at the moment, like it's like they're not in school anymore. No more school in session. UA has become a place for like evacuees to go, and the class at some point eventually goes to Midoriya and is like, "You can't be on your own. Like, you can't fight this all alone. Like, come back to us." Da 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 da. Bakugo does say, "I'm sorry." He does apologize. Growth. Um, and he does come back to UA. Uraka gives this big ass speech where she's like, "Let this be his hero academy, bro." Okay, okay, Bakugo Katsuki's not a monster, bruh. Okay, bruh. I'm gonna reference that video probably 3 times in this video. I'm already 2 done. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. I'm not explaining it. Um, so he gets back into the little UA group. He's with all his classmates. Okay, that's how it ends. Season ends. Villains on the loose teamed up. All hero students teamed up. Eraserhead, okay. Eraserhead and the police trying to plan something. They're trying to think of a new plan. Season 7 starts, and they figure, okay, like it's been a little theory for a while that someone in the class was like a traitor for the League or for All for One, really. This literally came up in season 1 during the first attack on the little training, and it just kept coming up over and over. There's a lot of different theories in the fandom on this, but it is revealed that it was a student class A, um, called Aoyama, but doesn't really matter. Like he did it, not really his fault. Like it's like All for One was like blackmailing his family and saying like I'm gonna kill your family if you don't do this with me. Da 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 da. But they find out that they're gonna use that against All for One, and they say like we're gonna be ready this time. Like we have a new plan. New plan is that they're gonna rely on the goat of all time, Monoma. And the new plan is that he's gonna learn how to use Kurogiri's quirk so he can do a bunch of the warp gates and teleport people and separate all the villains and do specific groups. So it all starts is that they go to Aoyama and they're like, "Bro, we know you're the traitor. Like, you gotta work with us, please." And he's like, "Okay, okay." And they actually use Shinso to. Okay, when they reveal that like Shinso's part of the plan, bro, like he walks in the room and all the students are like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god," and I was like, "Damn, bro, like, okay, second most aura farming interest after Best Genius. Yep, yep, yep." Um, but so basically, because All for One has like a lie detector quirk, like they use Shinso to have Aoyama and his parents talk, and then it doesn't raise any suspicion. He'll be like, in your class isn't making any moves, and then they'll have Shinso speak basically through Aoyama and be like, no, they're not making no moves. Like, nope. Um, so that was like that. So then now the plan's in action. The plan is where they all split them all up. So they have Monoma using Kurogiri's quirk, split all the villains up a bunch of different places all around Japan. Like all these people are in like separate areas. And then they have Monoma use Eraserhead's quirk so he still has Erasure on Shigaraki. This plan goes almost 100% perfect, except that the group that takes on Shigaraki is supposed to have Midoriya and Bakugo, but Midoriya gets separated. Not good, not good. Um, but I'm just gonna like spark notes through these fights because it's too hard to explain. But obviously, there's an initial fight with Dabi and Todoroki. Todoroki wins. Yay! So good. Going against All for One initially is Team Endeavor and Hawks. Endeavor Hawks. I'll address that later. um, and this was like really okay. This whole time they've been doing a lot of trying to like have like a redemption for Endeavor's character. Think of that what you will. I just don't really give a fuck about Endeavor enough to care that he's redeemed. But he does like power the fuck up taking on All for One. And he does like you think he kills him. You're like holy shit, like he just fucking like did this huge ass like prominence burn, like beat the shit out of him, and then All for One comes back and he just fucking age regressed. Bitch, bitch. Okay, okay. So they find out like I guess like you have to kill him multiple times to really kill him at this point. Mm, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Also at this fight, because Hawks is there, is Tokoyami, and at some point, like Tokoyami is behind All for One, and he like lets Dark Shadow like go loose, like super like, poof, like huge ass, like scary, and like this like literally is the one of the only times we ever see All for One like actually be afraid, and he goes like, ooh, like ooh. Don't let them tip your crown, King, bro. Don't let them tip your crown, bro. You scared the fuck out of All for One. I know that's right. I know that's right. But anyway, so then now they're still fighting All for One. Not good, not good, not good. Elsewhere, there is a fight going on with Spinner, who has an additional quirk. So now he already looked like a lizard. Now he looks really fucking crazy. And he has a bunch of other people that have mutant type quirks. And he's like, we're gonna go to this hospital. And because it's the hospital where Kurogiri is. And he's like, we're gonna go to this hospital and we're gonna kill all these people because they hate us. They hate us with mutant quirks. And it's trying to be like some quirk racism, but then like the message is that like they have this one guy from class A that has a mutant quirk, and he's like, no, we need to be the good mutants. Like, da 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 da. And it was kind of like, okay, bro. Like, when you like dig into it, like it's like the messaging is not great. But President Mike is there too. So it comes down to they're in this little hospital section, and Spinner and President Mike are running to get to Kurogiri because they're both trying to like get him on their side, like whatever. So Spinner gets there and he like talks to Kurogiri for a second, and then President Mike like screams. He's like, Shirakumo! Like he's like, bro, like wake the fuck up. Um, we don't really see what happens. Okay, when he lets out this scream, it like obviously makes Spinner pass out because we'll address later the potential damage of President Mike's quirk, but I'll do it later. But all we need to know right now is that it was like super powerful and he like made bitch his fucking eardrums bleed and he passed out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and Kurogiri warps the fuck out of there and he takes President Mike with him. Oh, the fuck? Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Elsewhere, there's a fight going on this island with Toga and Uraraka, and they have this like already pre-established crazy lore where Uraraka is like, I know you could be a good person, like open up to me, and Toga is like, no, like no one's ever liked me, like everyone thinks I'm creepy and that I'm bad and da 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 da. It's okay romantic tension if we're gonna be honest, but whatever. At this point, like it's not really like a win or lose, like like it's like okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. So at this point, the fight with Dabi was initially won, but Dabi does escape. Not good. The fight with All for One was Loki kind of won, and then no, it wasn't anymore, and he starts escaping. And like his whole thing is he's trying to link back up with Shigaraki so that they can like merge into one person. Whatever. It's fucking weird. I can't explain it. Like whatever. I can't deal with this. Um, and so then in the fight with Bakugo and Shigaraki, shit is not going well at all. Mirko is there. She loses two more limbs. Already lost one limb last time. Now she's at the end of this whole fight. She's down to one. Bro, this girl is so fucking badass. Um, Bakugo's fighting Shigaraki. Best Genius there. This other guy, Ed's Shot, is there. We actually get a flashback and find out that Best Genius and Ed's Shot were best friends, also at UA. I love when they add this UA lore to these characters. It gets so cute. Like, oh, that's so nice. But we only find that out because Shigaraki Loki kills Bakugo. Oh yeah, like this was his dead era. This was not good. Best Genius is obviously over there trying to do some like heart surgery. Da 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 da. And Ed Shot, keep in mind, okay, Ed Shot's power is that he can like fold his body into like a string a bunch of little pieces. And he's like, bro, like I gotta do this. Let me do this. He literally makes his body string form and he goes into Bakugo's like gaping wound and he like sews him up from the inside out with like his own body. This was so crazy. Um, but the way that this season ends is that eventually you know, Midoriya does pull up to the Shigaraki battle. He does make his way there from where he was displaced originally. He sees Bakugo dead. Keep in mind, obviously, since they need Eraserhead's quirk to watch Shigaraki, Monoma and Eraserhead just literally watch Bakugo die. Oh, bro, like, oh hell no, oh hell no. But so that's the end of the season. Bakugo evidently dead, maybe being saved by Edshot and Best Genius. Dabi back on the move. All for One on the move. Toga on the move and having this crazy awakening where she's sending like a flood of clones of Twice everywhere. Like a billion of them. Spinner, actually the only one taken off the board. Kurogiri, kind of off the board. He warps with President Mike over to the little floating platform that Eraserhead and Monoma are on. And then there's all this ruckus happens. Shigaraki gets out of there. He's going to try to meet up with All for One. Like, this shit is not going well. It's not going well. Like, oh my god, it's so fucking over. This makes the platform rock. Aizawa falls off this little floating platform. President Mike, no hesitation. They were both just gonna die. He just jumps. Ooh. Jumps in after him, bro. Jumps in after him, bro. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. All of a sudden, Kurogiri gets them. And then they teleport elsewhere. Ooh, the fuck? The fuck? But whatever. That's the end of season 7. It's not looking well. Like, it was like people were winning and then they started losing. But season 8, we continue this big final battle. And at this point, Midoriya has awakened all of the past quirks from all of the past users of One for All. So, at this point, he's fighting with Shigaraki. At the All for One fight, like All for One gets out, because now Dabi has gone over there to be like, I'm gonna go kill my dad. Oh brother. Todoroki is like, fuck, now I gotta go chase after Dabi again. So now there's a big Todoroki family mega fight going on between Endeavor, Dabi, and Todoroki. And then the other family members come, and as a whole family unit, they manage to take down Dabi. But like everybody gets burnt in it. Dabi literally, like, I'll find a photo of it. Like, he literally like just becomes fire, like just burns from the inside out, like it's over. Um, but he's off the board. He's not dead, but he's off the board. The fight with Toga and Uraraka, she has all these Twice clones coming in. She's super depressed. Like, they're having these crazy moments. Uraraka has like she's got like hit a lot, like got stabbed by Toga. And so since she's almost dead, she has this quirk awakening, and suddenly, how I said she has to touch stuff to make it float. All of a sudden, now just everything's floating. All of the clones are floating, and she's like screaming at Toga, like, "We can be friends, and we can talk about our crushes, and I like da 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 like whatever." So then Toga like eventually is like, "Oh my god!" Like breaks down, sobbing, whatever. She feels bad. She transforms herself into Uraraka, and then basically does like a blood transfusion. But in doing so, she dies to save Uraraka, bro. Ugh, toxic Yuri at its finest. What? Who said that? Oh, Spinner's also off the board. So see now, oh, and Kirigiri's off the board. Yeah, guys, like this shit was when I boom, boom, boom. So we're down to Shigaraki and All for One. This is not good though. So Midoriya's still taking out Shigaraki. Slowly, he has to like during this fight with Shigaraki, he has to like give up the individual quirks from the past users, which obviously not good, not good at all. Um, but he's doing it. He's like, I'm willing to sacrifice this if it means saving the world from you. So they're doing some crazy fighting. Over on the other side of the battle, All for One is like, I need to go reunite with Shigaraki. Oh, there's another fight with this Stars and Stripes lady, but I'm not even gonna explain it because they nerfed the fuck out of her and had some plot armor because during this whole thing, Shigaraki's going through like a I don't even know, bro, like life crisis, and he's like identity crisis, da 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 da. Like, I mean, he is like multiple different people. Like, he's Shigaraki, and he has like vestiges of All for One in him now. That was why he was in the tube, and he's like kind of a Nomu, and he da 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 da. So whatever, he's like going crazy, but he's still fighting Midoriya. Then All for One is flying over to Shigaraki to reunite, and All Might is like, I have a plan, and everybody's like, bro, the fuck are you gonna do, quirkless ass? Ah. Okay, so they're not laughing no more. because now he pulls up with this fucking Iron Man suit, and he knows that if he pulls up to the fight, All for One cannot ignore him. Like he's gonna have to kill All Might, and then he can go to Shigaraki. So All Might's like, I'm willing to make that sacrifice. And keep in mind, during the whole thing with Sir Night Eye, we find out that like like All Might is destined to die in battle. Like it was like, ooh, like this is it for him. Like he was willing to make that sacrifice. So he pulls up with this fucking Iron Man ass gear, Iron Man ass da 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 da, this suit, and he starts low key putting a belt to ass on All for One, bro. And it was so cute, bro. He named his moves after his students' moves. So like in his suit, he has like an unbreakable form. Bro, the teachers in this show, like you're all my teacher inspo. Like, oh my god, bro, oh my god. Um, and you could never fucking predict who pulls up to this fight with All Might and All for One. Would you guess, all the way back from season 2, that it is fucking Stain? Oh my god, I literally jumped out of my fucking bed. I was like, what the fuck, bro? But okay, for a second there, All Might's kind of beating ass, but then All for One starts to really fucking beat up on him. And then in the like it's looking bad. Like it's like All for One like is like holding All Might. He's about to like literally fucking like just rip him in half. Like and then in the fucking peripheral distance, we see this huge fucking explosion. Oh, you already know where this is going. You already know. Bro, Bakugo fucking came back to life. Don't even really know. Bro is just the second coming of Jesus, I guess. Don't ask. Um, but he gets his ass up there. He explodes. He sees Midoriya, and they just immediately lock in. And though they both realize, like, bro, you gotta get your ass over to All Might and get this off one shit settled. Um, and they like lock eyes, and then they like take each other's hands, and they do this like fucking spinny move, and then Midoriya launches Bakugo towards the All Might Off One fight. So obviously Bakugo gets All Might out of there. He's like, bro, like you ain't down on my watch, the fuck. And then he starts beating the fuck out of Off One. And this is the same thing that happened with Uraraka, where when they're kind of on the verge of death, they have this quirk awakening. Bakugo is on like villain timing. Like he's literally going fucking crazy. His explosions, like I'll put a picture of how they look before and how they look now. Like the animation drawing difference of them is crazy. They're almost like fireworks now. He literally is like exploding the fuck out of All for One. There's at one point All for One is like flying away and Bakugo catches up to him and he literally goes like, "Oh, I'm going too fast." Not you or farming mid battle against literally the scariest motherfucker ever. Only you, bro. Only you. So he does all that. He does manage to age regress All for One even more. Bro, at this point, All for One is a fucking baby. And you know what? That didn't stop Bakugo, because he still fucking killed that bitch. But there's also a moment during their fight where All for One, like one of the old like vestiges of One for All, like so one of the old users of Midoriya's quirk was named Kudo, and he like called Bakugo Kudo. He's like, whatever, like I killed your whole family. Like, how are you still alive? And he's like, who the fuck is Kudo? Like, I'm Bakugo, bro. The fuck. But that was pretty good. So Bakugo takes All for One off the board. Everybody fucking cheered. Um, and at this point now, Bakugo has coughed up Ed's shot. Hey, he didn't die. Hey, he didn't die, but he literally looks like a worm. Like it's literally like, would you still love me if I was a worm? Why, yes. Well, yes. If you look like Ed's shot, well, yes. Um, and he tries like okay, like Bakugo obviously got the shit out of him, and he literally just died. So like it's a miracle that he's standing, and then he like collapses. So now, Midoriya and Shigaraki fight. Midoriya is like slowly but surely basically giving One for All to Shigaraki. And you kind of think like, well, what the fuck is he doing? Like this is crazy business. But then if you remember all the way back in season 1, if the body isn't ready for it, it will explode. So he's slowly damaging Shigaraki from the inside out with One for All. Then it starts getting bad. Shigaraki does decay both his arms. So he's down to elbow stumps. Not good, not good, not good. But all is okay because then Aizawa, with the help of Kurogiri, pulls up to the fucking battlefield, and they literally pull up like some fucking Avengers Endgame on your left, bunch of portals open. and Aizawa has Aries rewind quirk, and he gets Midoriya his arms back, and then everyone, the whole team gets together, whole class gets together, class 1B's in there, everyone is helping him just get Shigaraki, and then Shigaraki dies, he kills him, they win, bro, off the board. The epilogue to this show is that Spinner's alive. He writes a book about the League of Villains. Okay, Dobby is technically alive, but I don't know if you could call the state that he's in alive. He's on like super critical like hospice care. And the whole Todoroki family visits him, and you know, Todoroki is like, "Bro, you are my brother. What's your favorite food?" And Dobby says it's soba, which is Todoroki's favorite food. So cute. Hawks gets his quirk taken, but he lives. She's down to 1/4 of her appendages. He's down to quirkless basically because his eye got ripped out. Bro has been quirkless. Like, oof. Bro loses his quirk. Bro technically died. Not good. Not good. But they do some time skip stuff, and then it's like a Midoriya becomes a teacher for a little bit, but then he gets an All Might, Iron Man suit eventually, and da 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 da. And they all end up being pro heroes, and da 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 da. And that's the show. And I'm gonna rearrange the board and probably do this bit on another day, but I need to discuss just additional things that I like or additional things about the show that I feel need to be addressed, and I'm going to address some fandom implications because, oh brother, the change between when I watch this now versus when I first watched it, totally crazy, totally crazy. But I will be back for that in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I'm just gonna talk about things that I like about this show that I don't see a lot of people talk about. And okay, so when I first watched this, it was 2018, 2019. And then I obviously had to like speed through finish up the show because it just finished airing in like early December to make this video about the last couple of seasons I missed. And it has changed so much. Like the way the show was and the like fandom and stuff, like I just need to discuss the change because like I was having like culture shock. Like, whoa, what is this? But I'll get to that in a minute. The first thing I'm not we'll address what's on the board, and that's like my third point that I'm discussing because this was the golden era. This was what I remember. I will get into it later. But I do want to talk about I think the show does a really good job with it's kind of like duos that it creates with like mentorship. Um, okay, first of all, like I don't really know why this show couldn't be set at like a college level, but I get it, I guess. Um, like I just think that like this stuff like when they do all these like internships and work studies and da 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 like well, I'm doing that right now in college. So why are they having like I get why it's like they're like 16, 15, whatever the fuck, but like whatever. I just like like why do they have to be that young? And then there's like obviously issues with like some of the character design for that matter. Um but I still think that like even despite this, like the duos that they create out of these like mentor and mentee kind of stuff, like even outside of like okay, so obviously like everything with the teacher, like Razorhead, you're my goat. I'll get to that in literally 1 second. But like even the other ones, like stuff with like Midoriya and All Might, like I'm eating it up. I'm eating it up. Everything with Tokoyami and Hawks. Oh my god, bro. When he was like, if you can fly, you should. That's so like, oh, this is just so good. And it's like I'm in school to be a teacher, and it's like I watch a show and I'm like, okay, like this is so cringe, but like I need to be like these mentors. Like they're like really good at like getting these students like believe in themselves and like be better as heroes and people. Like, oh my god, oh my god. Um, like I don't know, like, it's inspiring, bruh. Like that's about to be me. But that's like my perspective now. Okay, when I first watched the show, I was like, who gaff? Like I was like, oh, I guess it's cool because these are like the pro heroes. But I was like, who give a fuck about these like random old people? um, like whatever. Um, but like I do think they're nice, and I do think like it's just like realistic. Like, it is, like, yes, like, if you're gonna go to, like, hero school, you should have to do, like, a lot of field work, because I have to do a lot of field work to be a teacher, and that feels quite similar. So now I find myself relating on, like, a whole new level. Um, that was just my first point I was making. Like, I just think they do a good job. Like, all of the duos are so good. Kirishima and Fat Gum, 8 down. Bakugo and Best Genius, 8 down. Tokoyami and Hawks, 8 down. Midoriya and All Might. Midoriya and Night Eye. Like, eats. It just eats. It's just too damn good. And then even when they're like not directly the mentor, but it's like obviously in this like final battle arc, like this final war, like, a lot of the pro heroes, of course, they send the students to war because yeah, a bunch of 16-year-olds need to go fight your battle for you. Yeah, great. Yeah, great. Sure. Um, but even like then they're working with the pro heroes and it's just like great. Like they're doing so good with the students. Like this is just so good. This is just so good. That's my first. My second point is that I just think that like I feel this way with like other superhero media. Like getting to come up with these powers must be so fucking fun. Like, I think about it with X-Men too, where it's the same type of like mutation thing where it like is something that like you do. Like it's not like okay, it's not like Marvel where it's like, oh, Captain America like was like a science experiment. No, this is like you were born with it. It's so much cooler. And like I just think they're so creative with some of them. Like, how the fuck do you even come up with Dark Shadow? How do you think of that? Literally how? Like I was in awe. Some of the other ones too, like just edge shot. How the fuck do you come up with your quirk is that your body can fold in on itself and become like a string like substance? Like what the fuck? Like how did you think of that? But it's genius. And it works so well. And I just think it's really fucking cool. And I think it's super cool that then it's like they don't really explain if like your personality kind of has to do with your quirk, but it's pretty obvious that like most people's are like similar. And it's like was this like predestined or does it like okay like is Bakugo explosive because his quirk is explosions or like since his quirk is explosions now he's explosive. Like that's so fun. The loop of that is so fun. But there's issues with the quirks where like they like the whole like there's like a whole arc in the final battle where they're like talking about like the mutant quirks and it's like yeah like the mutant people like they like face different challenges. Um, and then it's like Spinner gets like a whole army of them to like go attack this hospital. And then the solution to this like mutant uprising is to be told they need to just be good mutants. Okay, so like I don't know that you should start like kind of like a racial allegory with the mutant quirks and then tell them they need to just be good. Maybe we should be telling the rest of the world to not be treating the mutants differently. But that's kind of an issue all around with a lot of the writing in the show. It's like will like the writer he'll take like really big chunks and then just not really do anything with it. Like he'll try like even with like the quirkless stuff where it's like okay so like obviously that's also kind of like now you're a minority group like da 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 but we don't really address it because then he just gives Midoriya a quirk. And it's um like there's just like a lot of stuff where it's like I don't know that you should be starting these allegories on like actual issues that minorities face if you're not gonna like really put serious thought into it if it's just like something on the back burner because it really is like even the fight with Spinner in the like big mutant crowd like it just gets taken down in like one episode and it's not like a huge deal because like we don't have time to focus on that when Bakugo's dead in the sky and whatever the fuck else is going on like we're busy like no one's really tuned into that right now. I just think it's like if you want to like address these issues, because he kind of does it with the shit with Endeavor too, where it's like Endeavor's a pro hero who's like in a fucking domestic violence with his wife, and he like beat his kid, and they just like give him a redemption arc, and yeah, like okay, like some of it is kind of good, some of it's like but it's like I don't think that we even really get enough of his character that it like who cares? Like you did all of that, but who cares? For the first 3 seasons, you show him being a shit dad to Todoroki, one of the main characters, And then now, since he has to be the number one hero because All Might retired, now we're supposed to care about him trying to be a better person. I don't care. Who cares? It happens a lot where it's like, I don't think that you shouldn't address these issues at all, but I think if you're going to, it needs to be spent more time with a more serious conversation, not just like a one-off bit of like, oh, there's like mutant quirk racism. Oh, there's quirkless racism. Like, and then you really don't say anything meaningful about it. Then why'd you put it in? Why'd you put it in there? But whatever. I still think that like the concept of quirks is really cool, and I think that like if there's actually like development on either front with like the quirkless or mutant quirk like discrimination, that would be much more interesting. But unfortunately, the conversation just does not go that deep at all. And it's very surface level and actually low key bad, which is embarrassing. Um, okay, we need to talk about how fucking bad it must have been to be the damn teacher. I think about this all the time now that I'm in college to be a teacher because what are you even doing? Like, let's go through the timeline of events that happened to Bro. So, first, when he's in high school, his best friend dies. One of his best friends dies. Okay, already traumatic, already traumatic. I think there's also additional lore about Eraserhead from the like vigilantes thing, but I didn't watch that. So skipping past that era. Now you're teaching. And okay, like your teaching's going well, whatever. You like expel these kids sometimes, but now you get put with this new class and whatever. They're being kind of bad, but you're like, all right, whatever. Like I'm gonna fix them up. Like I'm gonna get them together. Then you go to this training thing. Now your whole class getting attacked at training, and you just got your ass handed to you in front of them, and like you just broke every bone in your body. Okay, strike two for bad shit happening to you. So now, okay, you're beat the fuck up and everything's not great. Whatever. Kids go to the sports festival, they do really well. All right, win for you. Yippee, I'm a good teacher. Like 2 days later, three of your students sneak out from their fucking work studies and they go and try to take on the fucking hero killer. Bro cannot catch a break. All right, whatever. They come back, you're like, get your shit together. And they make it work. Then you're like, all right, guys, let's try another training camp. And you go out, and then one of your students gets fucking kidnapped. Holy shit, bro cannot catch a break. Then, all right, you get this. Okay, now your students sneak out to get the other student back. Not great, but at least everyone's back in the dorms. Okay, wonderful. Now they do their fucking license exam. One of them fails, and they get in a huge fucking fight, and you're in the middle of grading papers. Now you gotta go deal with your students literally physically fighting each other. Oh my god. Then, all right, now you're back to a little bit regular hero work. You're going on a rescue mission. You rescue this little girl. That's great. But now she's like low key your ward because you're the only one that can take care of her because of your quirk. Oh, so now you're in charge of the 20 students in your class plus this little girl. And you're a full time hero and a full time teacher. Okay, fuck my chungus life. What the hell? Then, all right, it goes pretty well for a while. Shit's going good. The girl, you help her accommodate to the class, da 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 da. Students aren't doing anything too bad. They're not getting in any more illegal fights where they're going to be getting felonies or nothing. All right, all right. And then you're like, all right, this fucking evil villain, like, we got to start this like final battle. You go to this final battle. Boom, someone dies in front of you. Number 6 pro hero dies in front of you. Oh, great, 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 great. You need to sacrifice his life for you. Not guilty at all. Not guilty at all. Then you have to cut your own leg off because you got hit with a cork erasing bullet. Not great. Then while you cut your leg off because you're distracted for a second, the villain comes at you and rips your eye out. Yeah, yeah, great, great, great. Never catch a break. Never catch a break. Then earlier you also find out your dead best friend from 15 years ago not act okay, maybe kind of not dead. Great. Wonderful, 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 great, great. Then you're in this final battle, whatever, got your eye chopped off or got your eye cut out, got chopped off your own leg, whatever, and you flopped and you lost, and the villains are tarnishing the image of heroes everywhere, and they're dissing on all your students. All right, now you're doing the final battle, like legit, like super planned out, you're ready to go, but you can't really do shit because now that you got your eye ripped out, you're kind of useless. So you're like, all right, let me recruit this student from the other class. All right, okay, everything's going pretty good. Everything's going pretty good. You and the student are, he's using your quirk, going pretty well. Then shit starts not going well, and the one villain literally kills your student right in front of your face, and you can't close your eyes. You can't blink because if you blink, then everybody's done. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, bro. Cannot catch a fucking break. Then, villain gets out anyway after he just killed your student. Now he's out of his little glass cage and the platform you were floating next to. Now you fall off. Okay, so now you're literally hurling towards the ground about to fucking be smashed and die. Great, 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 great. And then your fucking whatever the hell President Mike is to Aizawa fucking jumps in after you. And now you're both just gonna hit the floor. And then your fucking crazy ass dead friend of 15 years that's not actually dead teleports you out of there. And then you have to have a big confrontation about him and try to get him to be a hero again and save people. And just like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. So all of that bad shit happens. Everyone miraculously survives this whole situation. And then the icing on the fucking cake, your student that was problem child number one becomes a teacher and is your fucking coworker. Oh my god, that would send me over the edge. Like it was like I already put up with enough of this shit from your guys' class, and now you're my coworker. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Like, oh my god. But that is Loki Ultimate Teacher Inspo. Like you did all that shit for your students. Dedicated to the cause. Dedicated to the cause. But like, holy shit, if that's not like the most depressing character ever. Like no other character went. This was like like 1.5 year time span, by the way, except for the shit with the friend when he died originally 15 years ago. All the other shit I just listed happened in a year and a half. So I would have done this school year and then just quit. Quit being a hero, quit being a teacher, just done. Just done. Like, oh my god. Just not worth it. Not worth it. Holy shit. But whatever. That's why he's my favorite character of all time, Loki, bro. Like Eraserhead, that's my goat. That's my goat. That's my teacher inspo. Get me a figurine, put on my teacher desk. Like that's bro. That's best friend. Okay. Now we get to finally address what's on the board. Okay. So I don't really know the state of this now, in terms of like what the fandom thinks of these kind of groupings anymore. Because this like it was 2018, like this was of the time. But I've never forgot because this shit was funny as fuck to me. And you low key did choose a side, like you were one or the other. Um, and okay, I'll explain like the actual canon of the show, like what this means, and then kind of like what it means in fandom terms. But okay, in terms of the actual show, like some of these characters are genuinely friends and interact on screen like a bunch. So like obviously like I'd say like Midoriya, Uraka, and Ida like are together like a bunch on the show, especially in the early seasons. They're very trioed off, and then later in the show, Uraka and Sue are like duoed off like a bunch. Like they're always fucking together from like season 3 onward. And then for that matter, like Midoriya, Ida, Todoroki, that's the trio that was going after Stain. Like, just this kind of group of people like have a lot of actual connections in the canon of the show. So like it's very realistic that they're a group. Sometimes people will add like a couple other, I don't know, classmates into the group, but like this is like the core of it. Like if you're writing like a fic or you're reading like a text post, like it's these people's names are in there. With the Bakugo kind of half and the Baku squad half, like it's a little bit different. So like obviously definitely Bakugo, Kirishima, Kaminari are an established trio. Well, like, okay, for that matter, take it back a step. Bakugo and Kirishima established duo multiple times at the USJ, at the Spurts Festival, at the training camp, at the fucking kidnapping, da 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 da. They're together a bunch. Bakugo, hell, Bakugo gives Kirishima such a fucking speech that's how Kirishima comes up with Unbreakable. Like, this is like, they're like legit friends. Then, for that matter, Bakugo and Kaminari are actually low key legit friends because sometimes they'll actually hang out. But those three are definitely also a trio because multiple times they've done shit together. During the licensing exam, they run off together. And okay, run off together, more that Kirishima and Kaminari just follow Bakugo to bother him. But they trio up and they, do their business. They get that shit done. There's another episode where they're doing like a fake training thing where it's like the, I don't know, older classmates are like playing the villains. These three team up. They do this crazy ass fucking car move where they're driving a car and they're exploding each other and da 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 da. Like they are like friends in canon. Like that is like true. Then the other half is that Kaminari and Sero are definitely actually friends in canon. They interact quite a bit on screen. Um, they're both like kind of together a lot because they're kind of like the dumb group. So like when they talk about grades on the class, like these four are like in like the bottom 10 of the class, like the bottom 50%. So they kind of get like grouped off kind of often because it's like, oh, remedial classes, they are there together. Oh, whatever, they need to study, they get to be together, da 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 da. So they're actually friends. Kirishima and Mina are actually friends because they went to middle school together, and that's like a whole big chunk of like his history is that he saw her stand up when he froze. He was like, I need to, stand up more. Like if she's able to, I'm able to type shit. Um, but either way, these were like the established groups when I first watched this show. Like this was like really important. Like you kind of chose a side, like whatever. You already know I was choosing Bakugo's little team, like duh. Don't play in my face. But then I had to wonder, like, I don't really know what these are like now because when I was in the fandom, like the top ships were Midoriya and Todoroki and Bakugo and Kirishima. So it was very group still split, like, dating within the defined groups. But now, which I'll address also in a minute why this even happened, the it's kind of switched and like the biggest of all is Midoriya and Bakugo. So how are you going to be two separate squads if your leaders are dating? I don't know. I haven't looked into this because having to look at Bakudeku anything makes me want to rip my hair out. Sorry, not sorry. I said what I said. But I don't know. This was just so like infamous to me, and it was like you kind of chose one to stick with, and then okay, like people would low-key mischaracterize the group because it definitely is like okay, like Midoriya's friends, like okay, both groups are crazy, duh, but like this group is crazy in a whole different way. Like three people on this list should be fucking felons. Like they snuck out and tried to take down a villain on their own. They should be in jail without a license, without permission. And then also these three again snuck out of the dorms to go do a secret rescue mission to get Bakugo from being kidnapped. And like yes, Kirishima was there, but like again, look how it's more on this side. Like these people are crazy in a way that they're like literally vigilantes and breaking the law and whatever else. And then this group is crazy in that they're like, oh, haha, like we do pranks, we're kind of dumb, and like we're like messing around like with the other classmates. They're fucking around in the city. Oh, oh, okay. And people don't really characterize that correctly a lot. And they'll like, oh, like you guys would kind of like be like, oh, this is like this soft, cute little group. Like they're such good students. They have good grades. Like, yeah, they got good grades and bad actions. The fuck? But I don't know. This is just so like nostalgic to me. It's so infamous to me. If this is gone, like I mourn the loss. Like this was so funny in the way that it'd be like, oh, they're like battling, but they're not battling because everybody of the rest of these eight people get along. Just these two don't, at least for a majority of the show. So what's it matter? But it's like this was so good. Um, like I just like miss how it used to be. Like what the fuck happened? And a lot of this would depend on. Okay, let me also add that when I was in this, it was 2018. So like, okay, TikTok was there, but like, people were not really using it, and especially not really for like fandom stuff quite yet. So I was totally on Twitter, and when you do Twitter, now we get to talk about the lost art of social media AUs. And that's where these really come into play because now, making the social media AU, you make these fake social media accounts, you have these fake text change. And if you're in the text groups, like text chains, whatever, now you can just have one text chain for each group. So then your social media AU is like super differentiated where it's like, if you're doing one kind of with this squad, of course the main pairing is Midoriya and Todoroki. If you're doing one with this group, the main pairing is Bakugo and Kirishima. Like this was so art. This was so good. And I miss them. And I think it's like literally a part of the reason why people don't know how to behave anymore is because on TikTok, like you're kind of just liking other people's content of what they're talking about fandom wise, but like you're not making your own ever. And people are skipping crucial steps. Like you need to be making your own shit. You need to be making your own art, even if it's bad. You need to be making your own writing, even if it's bad. And it's like I did my time. Okay. I made some social media use. Like I've done my penance. And it's because of that that I understand the etiquette in the way to move around in these spaces. And these new people do not. But I get it, because I mean obviously Elon Musk like ruined Twitter, so rest in peace to social media AUs and the beauty that was social media AUs. Like I don't know how this could happen, but they were so fucking good. They were so fucking good. I mourn them and I can't find them ever again. I'm sure they've literally all been deleted off Twitter either due to like the person deleted them or like inactivity, because this is from like 8 years ago now, because holy shit, at 2026 I'm chopped and unk. But like damn, this was something special. Whatever. And now, okay, the biggest change from when I was there to now that I've noticed in my like I'm dipping when I say like I'm dipping back in this, I mean I'm dipping like one toe back in the fandom. Like I'm not really trying to investigate this. Like I'm too picky, and when I decide something, I stick with it. So like we'll see why that's an issue, because of course, okay, the first like 5 seasons of the show is these two hate each other. Okay, well, all right. Bakugo hates Midoriya so bad, and he bullied him that whenever they interact, it's like aggressive and mean, basically. And they have like maybe 3 moments where it was like good. Like you have like the fight where Bakugo breaks down and is like, "I made All Might retire," but then he still goes and whoops Deku's ass. So I don't really know how that's like a win. And then I guess you have like when they had to work together to take down All Might in that like exam, like training exam. But like so when I was there, that was all we had was like the first 4 seasons. So they weren't ever really together in a good light, literally ever. Like they were always fighting, always fucking with each other, literally one-sided hatred, not even rivalry, like just hatred. So like if you were shipping them, like you were kind of like ooh, like okay, I wasn't going this far, but people were being like you're glorifying abuse. Like people like it was so serious to some people because obviously he used to bully him, so it was like mm, and okay, like I will say, like I still don't think it's like not say it's not valid. You can chip whatever you want. Like I don't really care that much, but it's definitely like I just don't know that if I got bullied the way that Midoriya did, and someone told me to take a swan dive off the roof, that even if we said our apologies and kind of were chill, I don't think I could ever date someone that said that to me. And I think that's the core of the reason why I just cannot get behind this. Because, in the later seasons, he apologizes. They move on, they work together to take down fucking All for One and Shigaraki and da 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 da. Like, yay, congrats. But I just don't know. Like, we can be friends, we can be like fun competitive rivals where it's like we're actually just like rivals to like be better to each other, make each other better by having this competition. But like, oh, I don't think we could ever be doing more than that, because I don't forget. Like, like you did not just ignore me our entire childhood after your quirk manifested, and then you bullied me all through middle school, and you told me to kill myself, and then the first day of training at our new school, you literally almost killed me, and you literally hated me for years and always tried to embarrass me. But oh, you said I'm sorry one time, and that was enough. So no, so no, so I don't subscribe to that belief. But whatever floats your boat, whatever. And I get why it happened, because by the time you get to season 6, like no one's getting screen time. These are the only two getting substantial screen time, which obviously makes sense. Like, okay, Midori is like legit the main character, like Bakugo's second main character, Todoroki's maybe third main character. And it's like that's really the only people you get substantial screen time for the last 3 seasons. And a lot of it is focused on Midori and Bakugo because they're the ones taking down like the true villain that is like Shigaraki, versus like Todoroki's trying to fuck up his brother right now. Like he has his own crazy family drama going on that doesn't involve like these two. So like I understand how it happens and I understand it, but I just think that like some of the people that are like down with this ship, like this is their go to, their favorite thing ever. Like, I think we need to admit that yours would not be there if mine had not been first. Yeah, let's address it. I don't think that there would ever have been enough character growth for Bakugo to even say I'm sorry to Midoriya with his little low-key boof ass apologize. If he had not become friends with Kirishima. I said it. Yeah. Yeah. I think that like that is like what mellowed him out enough to realize like, oh, like I can still be, I can still have my goal of being number one hero and I can let people into my life. And I think that like, if you don't get the handhold between these two, the infamous fucking handhold that goes triple platinum in my brain every single day during the rescue, you would never get their handhold when Midoriya launches him to go save All Might during the final battle. So I think even if you want to ship them, you gotta admit this was crucial. This was crucial. Even for your ship to exist, mine had to be first. So let's put some respect on the name. How about that? But I don't really care that much. Okay, like it's like I just don't interact with them. And I'm not gonna lie, if I'm in a TikTok comment section and in the little person's username, I start seeing like the green sparkle and the orange sparkle, I'm a little teed off, but like I'm not like actually care. Like it's not like I'm not debating these people in the comments like, why do you have those in your username? Like that da 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 da. Like who gives a fuck? Who cares? But like I understand like obviously it was gonna happen no matter what because if everyone else takes a back seat, then like the legit like the last time you see Kirishima on screen is Loki season 4. There's 8 seasons to this shit. He was low key missing the entire second half of the show. I mean, Todoroki's there the second half of the show, but he's so isolated dealing with his dead brothers as secretly alive and an evil villain. How the fuck does he have time to talk to his friends? He's too busy having panic attacks and tweaking out that he has to go kill his brother. Like, what the fuck? But basically, yeah, I think a lot changed in terms of that. I think a lot changed in terms of people's like characterization of certain characters. And they definitely people like do not understand certain characters correctly. Sorry, not sorry, but people mischaracterize Ida all the fucking time. All the fucking time. Like bro has like committed like 3 felonies. So don't sit there and tell me he's like the biggest rule follower ever. If he was such a big rule follower, why is he breaking out of the dorms and committing felonies? So you lie. So you lie. But one thing is always consistent from then even till now, everyone is shipping a Eraserhead and Present Mike. I know that's right. I know that's right. This is like maybe ship of all time. Maybe ship of all time. Like, yes, you were childhood best friends. Yes, he gave you your hero name. Yes, you guys like lost your other trio member together. Like, it's devastation. Yes, you guys are teaching together. Yes, you guys hosted the sports festival together. Oh, yes, you jumped after him when he was falling to his death, and neither of you had any way to escape it. Like, whoa. Literally, bar none. Best on the show. Best ship of the whole fandom. Not even taken, not even discussing. And like, yes, I'm like Kiribaku #1 fan, but like Eraser Mike still is ahead. Like that shit is just next fucking level because it Loki is canon. Like I'm not taking any ifs and or buts. Like that's real to me. That's real to me. And sorry, but whenever there's like the teachers in a show, yeah, you're immediately being paired off in my head. And maybe like I don't know, bruh. Like I just fuck with the teachers heavy. I already fucked with them heavy before I was in college to be a teacher, but after living through this life, like holy shit, bro. Like they're so good. They're so real. That's gonna be me as a teacher, bro. That's me in circa 2 years. Be ready. But I don't know. I think this show is so interesting. I think the way the fandom has changed is so interesting. And I think it's obviously a byproduct of the writing of the show. Interpret that as good or bad, who I don't really care. Like, I used to be so much more obsessed with this show than I am now. I'm just moderately interested and finished it up because I was like, damn, I should really see how that ended. But like, whoa, like a lot changed, and it was low key crazy, and it's like, what happened? What happened? This show used to be so much gayer. Like I don't know if it's like since a lot of like the side characters stopped getting screen time, that like they were just like, okay, everybody can be straight again. But it used to be universally agreed that Kirishima was gay, and then that changed. Shocker! Whoa! I thought like they're talking about him and Mina. Oh, oh, okay, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, oh, okay. Wasn't aware we were doing that. I thought we were all in agreement that some of these people are just like legit gay. Like, great. I also think that like, I don't know, people will also go out of their way to ignore the other implications of canon. Like there's canon implications with like Midoriya and Uraraka, obviously, and it's like they have like romantic scenes, they have meaningful scenes. Uraraka is talking to Toga. They're doing this big ass fight talking about we were both in love with Midoriya. Like okay, like whoa, like this is serious, and people just won't address it. And they'll say like, oh well, her writing's bad, so da 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 da. You can't just ignore the good writing because there's some bad writing, and you don't want to acknowledge it. Like what? What the fuck? But honestly, doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. Just like the airtime of the characters changed so much that it changed like the entire perception the fandom had of the characters. Because I think like when they're not on screen enough to remind you how they actually act and like what they actually think of the other people in their class, like you can just start going crazy and saying whatever you want. Because if once these two kind of become the only focus, who gaff what the other six people are doing? They're not really like you can just make shit up. You can just do whatever you want. Which I mean that's like an integral part of fandom, so I'm not really judging. And at least you're not making up entirely new characters. Cough cough marauders. But it was just definitely interesting to see how this compares now versus to when I first watched. And sometimes I'll get some edits on my For You page and I'm like, whoa, that's it like eats still. Like they still eat down. Like these editors, like they're feeding you crack. Like they're feeding you crack cocaine. But thank you for your service. Um, I guess that's kind of it for this video. Kind of said all I had to say. Talked about all my favorite characters. Oh, if we need my top three, you already know. Bakugo, Kirishima, Eraserhead. Bar none. Sorry. I guess I was just such an angsty little fucking 12-year-old when I first watched this that I was like, Midoriya's a loser. I love Bakugo, so that just hasn't changed. Like, I was sick and tired of his crying. So I was like, yes, like, I will bully you as well for crying because don't start that shit with me. But that's my three favorite characters. That's my opinions on the show. That's my opinions on why I think so much of it has changed since I last tuned in. That's kind of it. Hope you enjoyed.